Shara, Africa, say it louder. Say Shara. Salam alaikum, 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 salam alaikum. We stand, we fight, we fall. All we need is freedom. All we need is love. Africa's free, free, Africa's free. Free from slavery, free from slavery, free as a romantic slavery, free as a romantic slavery, free as a romantic slavery, free from slavery, free from slavery. Yeah. We're here to speak. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the war. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the war. We're here to stop. We are back. We apologize for inconvenience. I know network sometimes can be tricky. I said when you have a weak network, try to reboot it. Just refresh your device, and I think that can work. The Surada will be able. Go ahead and share our live broadcast. For what had happened. We were just still live here. Like, and I saw my audience, they were dropped, and that's why I have to stop the broadcast and come back again. So go ahead and share it, and we will continue what we started. Very important topic tonight. As I said, we are discussing the statement by the Gen Council of Elders. موضوع مهم جدا جدا. Please, my guests, كانوا موجودين. Ustaz James Agostino and Moses Edward and Ustaz Mading Maniel. Ustaz Mading Maniel is here. Please come back, and then we can continue. The guests are good. Just you may wait because I still have those guests I want to continue. Then no discussion can undo. But since we are waiting for them, Ustaz Mading Maniel, welcome back one more time. I want to give you an opportunity to weigh in as well as we are waiting for others, to come and join the show. Fadal Ustaz Mading, I hope the audio is going to work.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead. Fadal.
Yeah, my appeal is to the people of South Sudan, particularly the youth and the entire community, South Sudanese society, wherever they live, in diaspora or back home. It's our responsibility. This responsibility is in our shoulders, and we need to work hard to make sure that there's a change in our country, and every citizen can enjoy the benefit of the country or to be a citizen of South Sudan. You have all opportunities. We are not expecting everyone to support us. That's in politics. You don't want to support you.
Yes.
But we respect your opinion, different opinion, we respect them, and we need that South Sudan where there's diversity, different ideas, different political setup. But one thing you have, the option is yours. You want to continue to support this corrupt regime, that's your own option. And you will go back in history as one of the people really who contributed in suffering of people of South Sudan. Otherwise, if you want to support us as an opposition with our new setup, new ideas, new vision for people of South Sudan to achieve their aspiration, to work for the benefit and for the future of generation to come, please support us, all the opposition parties or opposition groups, because we are not there, or we are not preaching to go to Juba and grab whatever there in Juba. We are really working very hard to see that the people of South Sudan should get the dividends from their own suffering for generations or decades. And we have lost so many, as been mentioned by one of the speakers before. It's more than 2 million who died due to the war and related diseases, the war. And we have paid a very heavy price, not only from 1955. Before that, we have paid the price during slavery. We have paid a price during the Turkey and British Egyptian fundamental period. We have paid a very heavy price. We have paid a very heavy price during the rule of all Sudan or the regimes in Khartoum. What we need to do is that to let the people of South Sudan to reach and to enjoy the resources of their own country. We don't want to leave you guys living legacy. We salute the SPLA forces, the gallant SPLA, who fought a very continual and fierce fight against the oppressors regimes, oppressors regime in Khartoum, until we have achieved our objectives, which we had our own country. We have our own country today, which is called South Sudan. It is called home. We salute them. We will not forget them. We will not forget the sacrifices. We will not forget the sacrifices of everyone. Even some people within this regime, some politicians, there are some among them who are patriotic. They have a stand. They know what they are doing. We support you. We stand with you. But what we need is a change, the real change in the country, to bring people together, to bring peace and stability for the people of South Sudan, to secure their day-to-day work, their day-to-day life, without any fear, intimidation, or any oppression, or any illegal activities being practiced against them by some of the security organs within the country, which may affect the stability and political instability in the country. And we don't want our people to live in fear. They've been living in fear since 1955 from oppressive regimes in Khartoum, previous oppressive regime in Khartoum. We want them to feel free, to feel confident in their own country. But you are not alone there. Your brothers and sisters, they're standing with you, and we feel the heat you are in. We know you're suffering. Don't think that we are here in diaspora, we are living in paradise. We feel you're suffering. Your suffering is part of our suffering. We are suffering also mentally because of you suffer back home there. By the way, something happened recently. I read yesterday that South Sudan and Somalia, they tied 12-12 as the most corrupt countries in the world. I made a joke with one of my friends. Why don't you allow me and give me the casting vote to make it 13-12, and South Sudan will take the trophy of the most corrupt regime in the world? Not the people of South Sudan, but the regime in South Sudan. In fact, it's the worst corrupt regime in the world. Nobody can deny that. And President himself, he admitted in several occasions that even there's a list of 73 or 76 people, 75 people, they are being accused of corruption. And those people, some of them are being recycled. They're being recycled within the government of Kir Mayadi several times, and they'll continue to loot the country, and nobody even asking them what is going on and why this continues to happen. And what Kir have done, and one of the reasons why he disagreed with some of his colleagues in the movement within the SPLM party, Kir's strategy is this. You guys, I leave you to loot the country, I will not ask you. But please do not think of my seat. Do not think of my leadership. I will not let you to take over my leadership. But do whatever you want to do. You want to steal as much you steal. You want to abuse power as much you abuse the power. I will not ask you. But the kursi ده حق. ما في زول يسأل عن كرسي ده أو يغير من الكرسي ده ليه وانا بشاكلكم. وده اللي حصل بالضبط في خلاف اللي حصل داخل الحزب بتاع الحركة الشعبية منذ سنة 2013. خلاف على الكرسي، خلاف على القيادة بتاع الحزب، وما كان خلاف على برنامج وتوجه أو أيديولوجية بتاع الحزب. كان خلاف على الكرسي، والمتضرر من الخلاف على الكرسي ده كان شعب بتاع جنوب السودان. ومو شعب جنوب السودان بس، شعب جنوب السودان قسموه على أساس قبلي ووقفوا. كل واحد وقف وراء أي قائد من القيادات. أنا لما جيت هنا، أنا كنت في جنوب 2030 مشيت إجازة. اليوم أنا وصلت جوبا كان يوم 13 كان يوم 14 شهر يوم السبت، يوم الأحد حصل حرب في جوبا، وأنا كنت موجود مع أسرتي. كان من أسوأ أيام في حياتي أنا مريت فيها. لكن thank God we came out. أنا حاربت مشيت كايرو، باقي جالس كلنا تميت في القاهرة وجي راجي هنا. I try to organize our people here to stand up ونجيب إنه الشيء الحاصل ده هيجر بلادنا للحرب.
نعم.
إنه الجنوبيين القاعدين في الدايسبورا يتحركوا بأسرع فرصة مع المجتمع الدولي، ووقفوا القتال الحاصل ده ويحلوا القضية بأسرع فرصة. أنا في الاجتماع ده حاجة مرة قال لي يا أخي أنت واقف مع واقف مع المتمردين ولا أنت واقف مع الفقير؟ أنا قلت لهم أنا لا واقف مع الفقير ولا واقف مع رياض مشار، أنا واقف مع الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان.
نعم.
أنا واقف مع الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان، لأنه في النهاية الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان هيدفع ثمن. وقلت لهم شوف الحرب دي لو اندلعت اقتصاديا وامنيا الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان هيدفع ثمن. قلت لهم انا ام بروفيشنال ايكونومست وبيعرف بالضبط اضرار الحرب الاقتصاد، والاقتصاد الحيز موجود في جنوب السودان ما عنده بنيه اساسيه اقتصاديه. جنوب السودان كدوله ما عنده بنيه اساسيه للاقتصاد، لانه منذ سنه 55 ما حصل اي مشاريع تنميه ممكن يوفر فرص عمل للناس ويخلق بنيه اقتصاديه للشعب بتاع جنوب السودان. البسيط ان احنا عملناه من 2005 لو قام حرب هتدمر وبلد ده هرجع لأسوأ مرحله ما كان عليه. الناس قال ايه تلاقي كذاب، تمرد ده ننتهي منه بس في خلال شهور والبلد ده هرجع وهنحكم زي ما احنا دايرين. حس بعض من الناس زي بقى يقول لي مالي كان كلام اللي قلت سنه 2013 14
نعم
كلام صحيح. شوف جنوب السودان ما هيستقر اذا لم يكون هنالك استقرار اقتصادي. حتى لو حلينا قضايا دي سياسيا ما في economics improvement or there's no improvement in life of people to cement the agreement. وده واحد من اكبر اخطاء وقع في الحركه الشعبيه. By CPA 2005 we failed to cement this agreement by creating job opportunities, creating development within the country, providing services to the people of South Sudan to enhance economic production. لأن الاقتصاد ده بينتج، والاقتصاد غير منتج لا يمكن أبداً ينمو. You cannot achieve a growth while the economic itself.
That's right. That's why أستاذ مدين. Not only that يعني من أشياء مثلاً المخجلة الحركة الشعبية فشل فيها. we all mobilize to vote for referendum. صوتنا للريفرندم but they fell in بنفس القدر بmobilization اللي كان حصل انه we were marginalized. We are fighting for justice, liberty and prosperity. إنه يكون في تنمية، يكون في حرية، يكون في عدالة. They fail to come to the people of South Sudan إنه to mobilize youth إنه يمشي يقول شوف الاستقرار السلام يعني ما تسرق جدات بتاع جيرانك ولا تسرق بقرة بتاع جيرانك، تكون قاعد معه كويس وفي مشكلة حصل في محكمة في إدارة أهلية زي ما كنا، لأن القضايا بتاعنا بيحل دائما عن طريق طرق كويسة بسلاطين وشنو حاجات دي. They fail completely. Instead, they created division among ourselves. So in order for them to survive. Malish, I want to interject that, but continue. Go ahead.
That's correct. كلامك صحيح 100%. I do agree with you 100%. That's what exactly happens. The product is this. الحصل في جنوب السودان حقيقة مع احترامي لأخواني في الحركة الشعبية. What is their problems؟ هم ما عنده برنامج متكامل إنه بعد انفصال الدولة هيعملوا شنو. They did not study. لو كان في لكن الأطماع الشخصية وطموحات الأفراد إنه يغنوا ويعملوا لهم قروش ويعملوا لهم ممالك تعبي لهم هم وكمية من فوائد وغنائم بعد الحرب خلاهم ينسوا حتى برنامج الحركة الشعبية. من أجل الناس رفع السلاح ومن أجل الناس حاربوا. نحن حاربنا من أجل شنو؟ حاربنا من أجل إنه يكون في سلام وعدالة ورخاء وتنمية. أنا عايز ألفت نظرك لحاجة بسيط جدا which is happening at the moment. أنا بقرأ مرات بعض تعليقات من أخواني جنوبيين من مختلف قبائل، بقى في ناس بيقول يا أخي الدولة كنا عايزينه بقى زي ده، ما أحسن إنه الناس ترجع للسودان. The question is the answer شنو الغير في السودان عشان ترجع؟ What have happened? What change happened in السودان عشان ترجع السودان؟
Good question.
في السودان الخطأ وين في جنوب السودان؟ الخطأ مين في شعب بتاع جنوب السودان عشان تاني ترجع تشيل حريتك وترجع للسودان. الخطأ في نظام الحكم في الجنوب. ولو كان في حكومة فاسدة أو فيل ليدرشيب في السودان، ده دليل إنه نحن نرجع بلدنا لدولة تاني، نمشي نبقى مواطنين بدرجة تاني. Why don't we work all of us together and change this regime which is existing, and we bring the regime that we wanted أو النظام نحن عايزينه. بما أننا نقوم نتباكى للسودان القديم ونرجع للوضع القديم. هل يجوز لإنسان خطأ خطوتين لقدام يقول أرجع ورا خطوات 3 خطوات؟
لا طبعا.
لا. بناء بتاع الأمم بياخذ زمن وفيها sacrifices. معروف أنا sympathize مع أخواني الجنوبيين، سواء كنت قاعد في راجع ولا كنت قاعد في مابان ولا كنت قاعد في جوكو ولا كنت قاعد في يي ولا كنت قاعد في تونج ولا أنت كنت قاعد في شمالي بحر غزال ولا أنت قاعد في أبيي. sympathize مع أي مواطن جنوبي. الآن we suffering due to bad leadership, the bad government style, the bad leadership of Salva Kiir Mayardit in Juba. I sympathize with them. Your pain is our pain. أنا الليلة ده ما ممكن أكون نايم وأشوف الناس مثلا بيموتوا أو بيعانوا. الناس اللي بيعانوا وبيموتوا دي حتى لو أنا كنت بعيد أو ما من المنطقة أنا اتولدت فيها، إنه مقرباهم هنا أصحابي وأصدقائي بيعانوا وأنا بمشي بكار بتاع الناس. I attended the social things and what is happening in their communities. I felt I'm part of that community. I'm part of it because what is happening to any one of my brothers, I feel also I've been hurt. And if this is thing happening, and if I don't have that feeling, we should not talk about building a nation, because we cannot talk about unity while we don't really practice that unity. Unity is just unity of territory. It's not just unity of people to come together. The unity is when you feel your brother, your sister is pain, is part of your body, which is bleeding day and night, and you have that feeling, you will be able to bring unity and consult your own brothers and sisters, and that's the way forward to achieve our unity. It's not only slogans. We need unity. You talk about شعارات فضفاضة ما قايم ما مبنية على أي حقائق في أرض الواقع. في نفس الوقت أنت بتقعد وأسوأ شيء and then وأنا بحذر فيه نحن أنفسنا وفي الشباب نخلي الصوت أو الخطاب السياسي مبنية على أساس قبلي وجهوي. نتبنى خطاب سياسي وطني to address all the issues of the nation, مش only to address the issues with a particular group. مشكلتك أنت في منطقتك جزء كبير أو جزء صغير من المشكلة الكبيرة اللي بيعاني بها جنوب السودان كله. ما أنت مضرر بمجاعة فقط، لا أنت مضرر بحر فقط، لا أنت مضرر بغيره. صحيح في تفاوت في زول يده في نار ما زي زول يده ما في نار، لكن برضه في معاناة أخوانك، في ناس بيموتوا. أنا الآن جيت من منطقة بتاع ليك ستيت من سنة 2007 لغاية الآن المواطنين بيقاتلوا في الولاية ده ومات بآلاف من البشر ماتوا في ليك ستيت. يعني communal violence, clan clashes is continue from time to time, subside down, come up again, and people are dying. But these people are dying are part of people of South Sudan. I'm not crying because I came from that part of the world, of the country. But whoever died in Jonglei or in Western Bahr Ghazal or in Equatoria is the son and daughter of South Sudan. فدي واحد من الرسائل أنا أقدر أوجهها لشبابنا وبعض مثقفيننا وأخواننا إنه نحن حقيقة عندنا مشاكل بتواجهنا، لكن لازم نواجه المشاكل ده إننا نتوحد and we have that feeling إن الشيء بيحدث ده لنا كلنا مش بس لشخص واحد أو لفئة أو في المجتمع. شكرا.
أنا بشكرك one more time عشان أنت جيت وضفت النقطة اللي كان مهم جدا جدا ده تضيفه بنفس القدر. أنا I will continue وأستاذ جيمس أغوستينو الحديث كان معك جبال، لكن بس unfortunately يعني we were thrown out of live broadcast. So we welcome you back, welcome everybody back. يا جماعة go ahead and share عشان it will give us more strength, you know, on our live broadcast. More you share, more you like it, more we are going to maintain this. So be part of this progress, you know, and progressive that we are doing. Please share it and like it. So Ustaz Agustino, I want to give you that opportunity عشان انت to continue والحديث لانه حديث كان معك ان شاء الله. تفضل استاذ Agustino.
شكرا مرة ثانية يا أستاذ جنكور، أحييك وأحيي الضيوف معك في الشاشة. صراحة الحلقة جميلة جدا. الموضوع بتاع جين كانسل وظهورهم في السطح في الآونة الأخيرة هي مسؤولية تاريخية من قياداتهم، ونحن نثنيهم على ده، ولكن ده ما بيعفيهم عن المسؤولية التاريخية في حقبة معينة من تاريخ شعب جنوب السودان. لأنه نحن كل الفترات دي من 1955 التمرد الأول لحد 2005 نحن كنا نذوق ويلات الحرب في سبيل أنه ننعم بحياة كريمة في وطننا بعيد عن الاستعمار اللي حاصل لنا. وأنا أشكر الأستاذ كان متحدث أنه رجوعنا للشمال أصلا حتى الجنوب ده لو بقى لنا جحيم يعني هو ما قرار صايب. في النهاية نحن كلنا أبناء وطن واحد، الأخطاء بتحصل، لكن الأخطاء اللي بتحصل دي لابد أنه الناس يعني تخاطبها بروح الوطنية وبقول الحقيقة بعيد عن الانتماءات. أخي جنكور، جين كانسل أنا ممكن شخصيا في اعتقادي الشخصي أنا أبرئ الرئيس سلفا كير إلى حد ما، لأنه سلفا كير تاريخه يعني معروف. نحن كمان ما نهضم حق الراجل، يعني حقيقة هو عنده اليد الطول في نضالات شعب جنوب السودان. حتى داخل الحركة الشعبية هو من كان في القيادات الورا، يعني ما كان خالص. يعني الرفاق القدام كان يعني خرقوا أشياء في الحركة الشعبية، هو يعني صدر لحد آخر لحظة. يا أخي جنكور والمستمعين الكرام، الراجل ده ما سبب للجنوبيين أي أذى وطني، ولكن بعد إقامة دولتنا شلجين كانسل ديل ظهروا على السطح السياسي.
حديثك في أذى من أكثر من 16 سنة والهدف من الحرب كان إنه يكون في عدالة، يكون في حرية، ويكون في تنمية، ما يكون في شارع، ما يكون في مدرسة، ما يكون في سكيورتي إن النساء يموت والأطفال تموت. نحن ما بننكر الحق التاريخي على إنه حارب لمدة 38 سنة لجنوب السودان، لكن هو فشل في إدارة الدولة، فشلا ذريع، ودي حاجة معروفة جدا جدا. We have to acknowledge that. معلش تفضل.
لا طبيعي جدا، شكرا أخي جنكور. أنا أقول المسؤولية التاريخية بتاعت سلفا كير، يعني أنا تحدثت قبل أن احنا نكون دولة، يعني هو كان راجل نظيف وفشلوا في إدارة الدولة. السبب الأساسي بتاعه دعنا نتحدث الحقيقة اللي هو التنظيم بتاع جين كانسل اوف إلدا. كل ما يدور في الجنوب حاليا من دمار في كل أوجه الدولة، في الاقتصاد، في التعليم، ده كله يرجع من بنات أفكار جين كانسل اوف إلدا. أن احنا إذا دارين فعلا زي ما قال المتحدث السابق دارين نعيش في دولة محترمة، لابد أن احنا نخاطب العقليات، أن احنا ما بنخاطب أنه الأفراد سلفا كير وغير سلفا كير، لأنه في النهاية سلفا كير شخصي حيجي يوم من الأيام حيطلع من السلطة، سواء كان عن طريق ثورة، سواء كان هو براه مشى، سواء كان الموت الطبيعي ربنا مواجهنا به في الحياة. ولكن تنظيم جين كانسل اوف إلدا هو تنظيم، في النهاية تنظيم، هم سموا نفسهم كده، نحن ما سميناهم. يبقى أنه المسؤولية التاريخية بتاعت إخفاقات سلفا كير من وراها جين كانسل اوف إلدا. دي حقيقة أن احنا شعب جنوب السودان نجب أن نغر على ذلك. كل الأشياء نحن الفترة اللي فاتت يا أستاذ جنكور في فترة نضالاتنا الشعب الجنوبي كان محب لبعضه البعض، حتى زي ما أنت ذكرت في سردك المشاكل بتاعتنا التاريخية اللي بتحصل بين حين وحين كان بتحل بواسطة الإدارات الأهلية أو بواسطة السلاطين. ولكن ظهور جين كانسل اوف إلداس هم العمل على خرق النسيج الاجتماعي لأبناء شعب جنوب السودان، عشان نحن نطلع من الدائرة دي ومن النفق ده يا أستاذ جنكور. نحن نكون صادقين مع نفسنا، يعني إلا تجي حكومة راشدة تجيب بمسافة واحدة من كل أبناء جنوب السودان، يعني تكون محايدة. لأنه أنت لما تكون في السلطة أنت ما جاي باسم المكون بتاعك أصلا ولا باسم الإثنية، ولكن جين كانسل هم من جابوا السنة دي في البلد، نحن نغر لذلك. أما ظهورهم هسه حاليا فجأة للناس ونحن كنا منتظرين كشعب جنوب السودان، أنا في رأيي الشخصي أنه ده تقسيم بتاع أدوار. دي حقيقة والأيام حتثبت الحاجات دي، لأنه نحن مشكلتنا بقى مشكلة بتاعت عقليات، نحن ما مشكلتنا مشكلة بتاعت الأفراد. الحاجات اللي اتدمرت في 16 سنة أنت ذكرتها دي نحن عشان نحلها صدقني يا جنكور إلا يجينا قائد بمواصفات معينة بنفس المواصفات بتاعت الدكتور الراحل جون جران، لكن فيما عدا ذلك نحن نكون قاعد نلعب ساكت زي الرماد. أما التصريحات الأخيرة بتاعت السيد الرئيس سلفا كير دي برضو عندها علاقة ذاته مع من ناحية سياسية بظهور جين كانسل المفاجئ للسلطة، لأنه هم كانوا في المصنع السياسي، هم كانوا هناك صراحة. دي حقيقة أن إحنا ما بنتبنى على أحد، لكن هم كانوا هناك. التصريحات بتاع سلفاكير الأخيرة غير مألوفة سياسيا، ونوع من التهرب السياسي من أبجديات السلطة، أنك أنت تحمي المواطنين أيا كان المواطنين دي، مواطني جنوب السودان كلهم أنت تحميهم. لما أنت تقول يا أخي إذا حصلت أي مشكلة في أي جهة ما أو رقعة جغرافية ما في جنوب السودان، أنا ما حاشتغل بكم، أنتوا حتشاكلوا هناك، وأنا حقرض نفسي بالجيش حقي والشرطة. يا سيادة الرئيس، أي دولة محترمة في هذه المعمورة حتى في دول العالم الثالث، الجيش والسلطات الأمنية تمثل الدولة، ليس تمثل الأشخاص، عشان أنت تقول الجيش حقي. والخطاب ده مستفز لكل أبناء شعب جنوب السودان، غير أنه خرج عن المألوف وخرج من التزاماته السياسية اللي هي حماية الدستور وحماية مواطني جنوب السودان. أنت بتقول أنت ما بترسل أي زول، يما الشاكل والمهزوم يجيني هناك أنا حاجي أحميه. الكلام ده من ناحية سياسية أنا ما حقوله، أنا عارف الكلام ده، وكل شعب جنوب السودان عارفين التصريح بتاع الرئيس ده هو قاصد به منه، معروف جدا جدا. من أبجديات السياسة لو جبت لك وليد صغير في الجامعة ركاني حيعرف لك أنه الكلام ده مرسل منه. الكلام ده فاضح وما يليق برجل دولة ناهيك عن مقامه شنو ما حفظ مقامات الناس. الوضع الحالي وصلنا له يا جنكور بينظر لحاجات كثيرة جدا جدا، زائد أنه النسيج الاجتماعي في دولة جنوب السودان انهار تماما. أن إحنا بس راجين القائد السليم والمناسب في المرحلة التاريخية المعينة. الخطاب بتاع سلفة ده خطاب مستفز، ونوع من أنه خلاص هو عرف السفينة آيلة للسقوط أو المبنى آيلة للسقوط والسفينة آيلة للغرق. الناس نحن ننتظر بس، لكن الكلام اللي هو قاله ده نحن نخط النقاط في الحروب، ده هروب عن المسؤولية وخروج عن النص التاريخي وفقدوا ذاته المنطق والرشد السياسي. دي حقيقة معناته نحن مقبلين لدولة بتاعت غاب، أنه أي كل إنسان يحمي نفسه. إذا ما حميت نفسك أنه ترجع ذليل تمشي لسلفاكير عشان هو سيادته يوفر لك حماية وإنت ما تكون زي الرجال. ماذا تقصد بكلمة زي الرجال؟ الدولة دي ما في نسوان برضه، ممكن صوتهم يكون أعلى من الرجال، فيها شنو يعني؟ المشكلة وين؟ يا أخي جنكور، أن إحنا خلاص وصلنا الميز السياسي علينا. مشكورين أنتم في الميديا أو النشطاء السياسيين قاعد تجيبوا الحاجات دي عشان الناس تناقشها، عشان الشارع العام يكون عارف بالضبط الحاصل في دولتنا شنو. لو الناس الحقائق دي الناس ما اتملكتها حيحصل في بلدنا داك دمار شامل، لأنه من خلال أنتم قاعدين تتكلموا تطرحوا الأفكار، الناس بتعرف أنه العمل ده ما ممنهج. لكن كل الناس على الأرض في الشارع في جنوب السودان أخي جنكور، جين كانسل كان عدو الأول لهم قبل سلفاكير.
نعم.
لأنه هم جابوا الفكر ده، لأنه الفكر بتاعهم كان مؤدلج قبليا وانتمائي. دعنا نقول الحقيقة ونخط النقاط في الحروف عشان الناس تعرف تنطق الكلمة دي. أما ظهور ألدو أجو وجنفة أنه التصريح بتاع جين كاسل ده هم ما مسؤولين منه، هنا بيت القصيد. معناته نحن طوال نشوم ريحة في عمل سياسي ما، في خطة ما، في تقسيم أدوار. إذا كان ألدو أجو من أشهر قيادي جين كانسل، إذا ما كان هو العراب نفسه. وأنا أقف في الحتة دي، يعني الحتة دي يا جنكور أنا دايرك تشرحها لنا حكاية إيش معنى يعني بالتحديد السيد ألدو أجو. وألدو أجو معروف لكل مواطني جنوب السودان هو شنو، معروف. دي قيادات نحن بنعرفها، ألدو أجو، أبي الأريال، أنجلو بيدا، نحن بنعرف الناس دي تماما، وكنا بنعرف مواقفهم من التعب ونضالات شعب جنوب السودان، وانت تعلم ذلك يا اخي جنكور. شكرا، وندي فرصه كمان لاخوي الثاني.
اشكرك جيمس اغوستينو. وانا قبل ما ندي فرصه لاخ موسيس مكير، I want to read quote here. انا داير اقرا quote من statement جين كانسل elders. You're right. يعني ما ممكن انت تبدا حاجه وتتهرب at the end of the day. So يعني بوري علينا في مراوغه or you were planning to do something but when you get caught in the middle and then خلاص انت بتطلع منه وتقول no this is not what I meant. الزول عنده wisdom دائما، الزول عنده حق دائما، هو بقول الحق حتى لو هو قاعد between fire you know وبقول حقيقة. That's why I want to read this quote عشان تعرف يعني الكذبة الجين كانزل الإيلرز كانوا فيها في الفترات دي كلها. قال شنو؟ and we are going to read this document later. قال شنو؟ قال when the parties signed the revitalized peace agreement on the resolution of conflicts in South Sudan, RSS, in September 2018, the Gen Council of Elders did not make any statement because we did not want to be misunderstood again and be considered as anti-peace. Now the verdict is out and our fears have been confirmed once again. Of course, the verdict that they are talking about here is the verdict of grassroots consultation. In people of South Sudan, في national dialogue, قالوا شنو؟ Salva Kiir Mayar, Riek Machar, in order for South Sudan to move forward, they must step aside. يطلعوا من political life. Or they can continue with this Artigono, which is transitional government of national unity, but they cannot run for any election because any election that will include Salva Kiir and Riek Machar is not going to be genuine. Like we said, the peace was not genuine. It is not going to be recognized because they are going to cheat. Someone is going to cry, oh, the election was rigged, and then people of South Sudan are going to go back to the war again. I couldn't في حرب تاني ونرجع مربع الأولى. ونحن عارفين سلفا كير دائما وبيعمل نظام الثلاثيات 3 سنة 3 سنة 3 سنة عشان يقعد إلى ما لا نهاية to buy time. We know this, and we have been monitoring him for a very long time. Now, what I want to say about this statement, قالوا نحن في 2018 يوم 12 شهر 9 هنا السلام كان موضوع، لكن السلام ده ما كان صح. It was not genuine. لكن نحن we don't want to say anything. We don't want to make any statement. لأن نحن لو عملنا statement هيجي يقولوا نحن we are anti peace. هيقولوا نحن ضد السلام. عشان كده نحن سكتنا بس وخلينا السلام نمشي، لكن أصلا ما كان سلام. ولكن الآن the verdict الحكم تم نطق الحكم من قبل الشعب إنه ما دايرين يا كير، ما دايرين يا رياض، get out of our life so we to move forward. ده كلام بتاعهم، ده كلام بتاع مراوغة. طيب المنطق البسيط the simple logic بيقول شنو؟ You are an elder, you are my father, you are my uncle, you are my brother. If you are an elder and you see something that's wrong, is a total thing wrong and it is not genuine, would you rather keep quiet? عشان قال أنا لو قلت, for instance, I will say to my brother Garan something wrong and he will say that, oh no, I don't want to talk. أنا لو اتكلمت هسه وحاجة ده بعدين ما جاء طلع كويس هيقول أنا ضد حاجة اللي كان كويس ناس دايرين يعملوا ده. أنا ما داير أتكلم ضد السلام، ده كلام بتاع جين كاتب إلدرز عشان ما يجي يقولوا شنو I am anti peace, we are anti peace. So وين الأهمية بتاعت إنه being an elder؟ لأن أنت when you are an elder, whether people will judge you, whether they are not going to judge you, you will remain saying the truth. أنت هتقول حقيقة. So now المصداقية وين هنا؟ لما أنت تقول يا أخي أنا ما داير نقول كلام ده، لأن أنا لو قلت الليلة ده بكرة يقولوا أخي I was anti peace. وهسه يا هو السلام اللي نقول له يمداك ده فشل، السلام ده ما صح. طيب أنت هسه you are undermining yourself. أنا نثق فيك كيف بأنه أنت elder. أنت ما قلت لنا حقيقة هناك، أنت سكتت. قال because you don't want to be judged. And now you are saying something. How are we going to believe you in you are not lying? Because you already lied in 2018. You lied, you divided the country, 32 states, 28 states, and all these things. And it will go on and on and on and on. So people of South Sudan need to understand that point. In his own matter, يقول حقيقة من البداية. هيجي يقول لك حقيقة في النهاية. ما قالوا في 2018 قال يا أخي لو قلت هيجي يقول له قال أنا ضد السلام. لكننا كنا عارفين إنه السلام ده ما صح. طيب أنت عارف ما صح. أنا جونكور ده أنا صغير. Maybe I could be your grandchild or your child. لكن أنا قلت من 2018 السلام ده ما جنون يا جماعة. ما صح. ده كده بساكت ده buying time. You see my point? So we are going to dig deeper on this. What is behind? And that's why we asked the question tonight. what is behind this sudden move of Gen Council of Elders. Okay, so Agustino James alina di fursa le Moses وانا برجع لك واتمنى لما انا كنت نرى استاذ عبد الله قرن and others sending the request. We are refresh your network. We don't want to be thrown away again. Ustad Moses?
Thank you so much, Ustad Jonkor and my brother Agustino. I would like to greet all our viewers. I thank them for actually sharing the show so others can hear what we are discussing. Well, Jonkor, I've been since you started the show. I've been there and I've listened to Mading Wada Maniel. I'm glad that he has joined us, and I really thank you, Jonkor, for your effort to bring him on board, because these are national issues. They cannot only be addressed by united concerned citizens for change alone. We need all the opposition to come together as one force in a purpose and one objective to be able to change the regime of Juba. Well, before I talk about the main topic, breaking the silence, which is the letter of the Gen Council of Elders, I would like to make a remark on that political, I can call it, that's political stupidity. That is statement of President Kiir in the conference.
And if you don't mind, I can play it one more time.
Yes. Yeah, I would like you to play it again.
Let me play it.
I want to make a remark on that.
Yes. Let me go ahead and
Dora Jai, Lomantum to the Chalu, Anamabum to Lekumtani. What about you committee, Chanium to Le Mantiga, but at Chakalada. But why Jay Betaida, Anabaji with Jambi, Nagardo Napsi, Jay, the Well Bolis, when I should be Benjamin Well. I Zola Baturudu by then in Yajiri, Yauba. So I have decided that I Chakalatani, Mabodi folk, Wala Askari, Wala Bolis. Makalikum the chakal lakadma one section yajiri manatani. No mandajiri man zol kan bu chakal mat utaji hinede ana beji busada bana bedafa ana. Ubada ma de kalam thani karajo.
Wow.
That's why I was saying from the beginning of the show, that kind of statement, you don't hear it from someone, with the mental capacity, that those such a statement, you can hear it from a random retarded guy on the street, but from a president of the country, a sitting president, you don't hear such a thing, right?
And this is what I would like to say to all our viewers, all the citizens of South Sudan. This is your president.
The president of the country, a sitting president, you don't hear such. Oh, go ahead.
His statement is a license to genocide in the country. It means that any tribe can fight and destroy another tribe and the government will not involve. And we know this. If you look at what he has said, first of all, what was the government doing in Lagos State? Did the government prevent the killing? No. In Murle land, if President Kiir is saying that Murle and Nuer, Law Nuer, and people of Bor or Jongule are going to fight each other until one tribe is finished, then it shows that this is an irresponsible government. We don't have a government. And this is what we have been saying. He has actually support what we have been saying. We are saying Kiir is an irresponsible leader. He is a failed leader. He has no vision. He has no even personal character. Because such a statement can tell you what kind of leader we have in the nation. If that is translated into English, all the other leaders will laugh at him.
Seriously, yes, for sure.
And this is what we have been saying, that President Kiir is not a leader. What he just said is what you see in the village. That's what I say all the time, that Kiir is bringing the village into towns. Instead of taking town to the village. Taking town to the village means you have to have a police in the village, in the towns. When there are conflicts, communal conflicts, the police should intervene. It is a right of citizens to be protected, to have a police. People don't have a police because Kiir have mercy on people, has mercy on the people. The police is the right of the citizens in the constitution to protect their life and protect their properties. The same thing with the army.
Even himself, he took an oath on in July 9, 2011. He took oath. I remember. He took oath. Innu, Ayam al-Himaya, he will protect the integrity of the country, the citizens, the property. He took an oath.
I think he does not understand what he was saying when he was taking that oath, because Rajal, and if you really analyze him, how he thinks, he doesn't even think like a person in Fimura, as we say, is all Fimura. They think better than President Kiir. They don't read and write, but they can think better than him, because they shackle up to Ayal. When they don't respect themselves, you bring them to dim sort, you do kubat, and then when it's defeated, they run to you, you tell the other brother, stop it. This is kind of mentality that you want to bring to the nation. You cannot treat the citizen of the country in such a way that the army is your army. As my brother Mading Wado has said, the army, Kiir owned the army. And we've been saying, Kiir owned the country. He owned it. He owned the army. He owned the tiger. He owned the military intelligence. That's why he's talking from that perspective. He owned it. He can sack you. He can give you high ranks at his own mercy. So President Kiir has failed us, and every day is exposing his superiority to the people. Now, with such a statement, if we have a parliament in a nation, in a country, the parliament should call an emergency meeting and go for a vote of no confidence. But we don't have that. We don't have that parliament.
Those are cheerleaders. Do you think they're going to do that?
If we really have a parliament, such a statement in the Western world here or in other countries where there is democracy, not authoritarians or dictatorship like Kiir leadership or government, he would be summoned in the parliament, and they will actually call emergency meeting and say, President, we are voting for vote of no confidence. We don't trust you anymore. Because if you are not going to protect the citizens' lives and their properties, then you are no longer a president. What makes you to be a president? Just tell us, Kiir, what makes you to be a president if you can't protect people's lives and citizens? There's nothing apart from your gun and your stolen money. So this is the bottom line. Kiir is not a leader. He's a weak leader. Even if you give him 100 years to rule South Sudan, he will never do anything apart from such weak statement for him to expose his superiority every time. You see? And I know that's why he keep quiet, because if he talks, he will always expose his superiority like that. So it's better for him to keep quiet and eat his oil money, stolen oil money. But we, the citizen, we have known the true color of President Kiir. As my brother has talked about history. Yes, it is good to know history. But we, in our generation, we have to make history, my brothers and sisters. Yes, Kiir, in history, he would be in history, but in bad history. Wrong side of the history. So this is what I can say. He has declared genocide in the country. And if there is any genocide happening to any tribe in the country, now we know that President Kiir is going to be taken to ICC court one day because of that statement. Because if Bor kill Morle or Morle kill Bor community and finish them, or Nuer law, now we know who is going to be responsible. Yes, we know he was not protecting the people anyway. So that's the fact. He was not actually protecting anyone. Even those South Sudanese in Juba, he's not even protecting them, let alone the people in states. We know that. But this statement is a challenge to the parliament. If we really have members of parliament that were elected by the people to be the voice of the people, they should go for vote of no confidence to this president. If there is no, there will be no right time for them to come up one day and say, Kir, you step down. If they cannot do it now with such a statement, then we know that we don't have a parliament anymore, as we all already know that. The parliament Fiji Batakir. Now, let me go back to the main topics, which is breaking the silence. Yes, in the past, we disagree with the Young Council, but it is good to give people their credit. With this letter, I'm going to go into few details so people know what they have said. I summarize it in 6 points.
Okay.
So people know what did they say in the letter, what is in the letter, before we analyze the reason behind this this move. So first of all, we have to know.
I want just to let our viewers know that also the press release statement by the Gen Council of Elders, it is on the Facebook page of Elder Dr. Aldo Ajudeng.
Yep.
And yesterday, when he was interviewed by Matiang Chirillo, who is a journalist, Reis Tahrir Gerit al-Mawqif, he said, no, we did not release that statement. At the same time, that statement is on his Facebook. If you go there, you will find it. I did a screenshot, literally. Guide to Facebook without. So I want our viewers to know that. Go ahead, Moses.
Yes. So whether he denied it or not, it was the Young Council of Elders statement. And we know this new tactics of denying things. And the good thing, President Kiir will not deny his statement. If it was written, he would deny it, that I did not say that people should fight each other. But it is a spoken message. Kiir will not deny this. This is the good thing, Jonko. The same thing with Young Council of Elders. We used to disagree with them in the UCC, United Citizens for Change. But so far, I would like to give them their credit for coming up, breaking the silence. Because there is a say that silence is an image of death. If you keep silent, you have no difference with a dead person. So at least they have come up and say, we need to clear our image. That's what they are doing. They need to clear their image, and there are reasons why they are doing that, and I will mention them. But let me go, so those who did not read that letter know what was in the letter. I've summarized it in 6 points. 1, what they put in the letter is this. They are saying Young Council of Elders is a force for good, not destruction. Okay, it is up to you to analyze it. In which way, if you ask yourself, in which way has Young Council of Elders become a force for good? Then you will get the answers. If they are claiming that they are force for good, in which way? Is it at the state level, at Jiang level? Jiang are killing each other from in Jungule, in everywhere. They have never called Jiang conference to all these intercommunal and cattle raiding problems that are happening in Jiang land. So in which way are they really a force for good and not for destruction? They are force for good for President Kiir only. So we have to see what they are saying. And most people don't know this idea. Where did the President Kiir got the idea of 28 states? I have spoken with one of the member of Young Council. He's an MP. As we have said, that all of them are MPs in the government, with the exception of Bona Malwal and other members. But they come from all subsection of Dinka as MPs, and then they form that body to have access to president. The idea of 28 state, my people, my fellow South Sudanese, the idea of 28 state came from Jiang Council of Elders. So if they are telling us in the letter that Jiang Council of Elders is a force for good, not for destruction. Now, was the idea of 28 state a good idea? Did it bring South Sudanese together? No. It has divided us into sub-tribes, divided Lagos State into Yorul and to Rumbek and to Gok. The same thing in other states. It has divided us. So how can an idea that can divide people be considered as a force for good? So the idea of 28 states came from Jiang Council of Elders. It was not the idea of President Kiir. And the mistake that President Kiir has made is that he accepted that idea and he made a presidential decree. Now, they are feeling that President Kiir has dropped their idea, have neglected the idea of 32 or 28 states. So they felt powerless. So they felt being betrayed because their idea has been dropped and Kiir has accepted to go back to 10 states. So that's one of the main reasons why these people are losing hope on President Kiir. It is not just they want to look for the interest of the nation. It is the fact that they have been marginalized. Their core idea, their ultimate idea, fundamental idea is 28 states. And they brought it up just...
I agree with you to some extent there, because you're right. It looked like they've been marginalized, because what we see these days, Kiir, substitute them with Tutkel. You have Tutkel, new security advisor. You have a Kukur. You have new people from Watamar from Khartoum. You have this group, they are very close and they are doing other business. And those, the masterminded, are being pushed out. So that's my own analogy. I see it there. I could be wrong, but this is what I see happening, these days. Go ahead.
Yes, so if the Jiang Council are claiming that they are force for good, not for destruction in South Sudan, that statement is questionable. Because so far we have seen their ideas have divided people more than bringing people together. So, and I agree with you. Tutkel now is working and is recruiting Damasaria from his state. So if there is a fight in Juba, Damasaria will come from Tutkel, from his own tribe. So he's working, he's recruiting his own people, Nuer people, to die again to protect Kiir. Because this time, Dinka people will not protect President Kiir. If there is a war again, Dinka will give up. They will not. Those in the army, those in the SPLA will not protect Kiir anymore. It's only those few Tiger members and military intelligence and few national security that will fight. And then President will ask Tutkel to bring Damasaria from his people. So that's what is. That's why he's trying to divorce Jiang Council of Elders. So the talak and mudun waraga. So he has distanced himself from these young elders. That's why these people, they feel frustrated. But I know some of these Jiang Council of Elders members, they are good people, but some of them are not good. They don't have good intention. They want to destroy the legacy of Dr. John Garang. They want to make sure that President Kiir has failed. And what is said, that's what I tell the people every time. President Kiir has given in to the idea that the legacy of Dr. John has to be destroyed. Why would he do that? If you did not like Dr. John, why do you want to destroy the legacy of a man who has dedicated his life. And that's what I say to the people. President Kiir has never learned from Dr. John from the last 21 years when they were in the bush, which shows to me here, he will never learn from anyone. So that's the first statement. Gen Council are claiming they are force for good, not for destruction. So we South Sudanese ask ourselves, if we ask ourselves, in which way is Gen Council of Elders force of good? Let them justify that to us. But so far, they were not actually force for good. We know individually they could be good people, but their ideas were not force for good. They were force for division, force for ethnic federalism, where everybody has to be in a state based on their. Sorry, that's my son is crying, but his mom is there.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what we need to know. Second point, they mentioned that the economy has collapsed and people are starving here in Juba, in the capital. Just 1 second, let me check him and I will come back. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Malish, let me just do this and then we continue, inshallah. Then Magulna ya Jama, go ahead and share, and we should be okay. I want you to share this as we continue this together. As we wait for to come back, let's go ahead and share. Welcome back, Moses. And
yeah, thank you. He's right, and he's with his mother. So it's weekend, so we are at home. It's Sunday in Australia. So that's the first point. The second point in the letter that they said the economy has collapsed and people are starving in Juba, even the capital city, let alone in the states. So this is true. I agree with Young Council in this statement. Yes, the economy has collapsed. There's economic bankruptcy. Central bank has collapsed. The economy, we don't even talk about inflation anymore because it is hyperinflation. Inflation that can reach 800%. You see, and unemployment, we don't talk about it in South Sudan because there is no difference between employed people and unemployed people. Since employed people are not getting salaries, so there is no difference. Because he's not giving you salaries. He wants people to be thieves like him, so you can steal. So everybody was so everybody has to steal to survive. So it is true. That's what they say, that the economy has collapsed, and there's no disagreement on that. We in the United Citizens for Change, we agree that the economy has collapsed, and we've been preaching this, and we've been telling the people, except the economy of national security and military intelligence and Tiger. They are getting salaries, not normal salaries. They are getting more than 10 times what a normal SPLA gets. And indum tayin bartu bedum sukar bedum sabu so gasumulom hajat yan zay zaman fi Sudan kuna arifin jej indu tayin bedum tayin. But the other SPLA that are outside, that does not belong to Kiir. So when you talk about my army, he means Tiger. He will send his army. He means Tiger.
So go ahead, Moses. I'll give you 5 so we can divide time equally to move on. Yep. There's a lot of people who wanted to come. Go ahead.
Yeah. The third point in the letter is that Juba government is isolated internationally. Yes, we agree with Young Council. It is true. Juba government or President Kiir is isolated internationally. Why? Because of their bad political practices, human rights abuses, and the lack of a clear foreign policy. And even those who are appointed as ambassadors, yes, there are some qualified ambassadors that we know, but most of 50% of them are not qualified, or 60% of the ambassadors. For example, the ambassador that was sent to Australia and to Tanzania is just key relative called Mariano Dengor. I don't hate him personally. I know him, but he was not qualified.
Yesterday, also, there was a presidential appointing the sister, the daughter of Aoud.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a big story between them. We know that. We don't want to talk about personal things.
Issues,
yeah. But the issue here, the ambassadors, for example, that was appointed and sent to Australia, stay as an ambassador for 2 years, and he never raised the flag of South Sudan.
Wow.
And people are crying for those who ban the flags. What's the difference? If you are ambassador,
there were another ambassador in Egypt who was a chef somehow.
Yes. So this ambassador was ambassador in Canberra here, and I went during the time when they opened the embassy or consul. They never raised the flag for 2 years until they closed. So how would the international community know that there is embassy of South Sudan in Australia? If you can be there for 2 years, you never raise the flag. And they cannot lie. I was there. I was in Canberra. The same behavior. That person was also appointed as an ambassador of South Sudan in Tanzania. Mariano Dengor, he stayed there with no flags in the country, in the embassy. So how would the international community know that there is a country? If you appoint ambassadors who don't buy flags, the only people that I know that are strong ambassadors are those like Joel Mawut, the brother of CDF. He has a flag in Nairobi. And the other few ambassadors. But all the other relatives of President Kiir, they consider embassy like a house. They don't raise the flags. So it is true. Juba government is isolated internationally because they don't even want to tell them. They want just to get the oil money and consume them, and that's it. So they are using a country just to get the oil money. They don't have ideas how to rule. They don't have ideas how to create relation with countries. They have no idea about that. So that's true. The second point is that the fourth point, that's the GM Council of Elders has said, is that the revitalized peace agreement is partially being implemented, and the agreement ignored the root causes of the war of 2013. They say that the agreement has not addressed the root causes of the problem of South Sudan. Yes, we could agree, because at the end, the agreement end up as power sharing matter. Having 5 vice presidents, having position. That's what the agreement has addressed. And reinstating Dr. Riak after being dismissed. So it has not actually addressed. And it is true that the key chapters are not being implemented in the peace agreement, especially the unification of the army. The new constitution is not there. The transitional justice, Kiir doesn't want to hear that word justice.
Yeah.
He doesn't want a peace agreement because of this chapter, the transitional justice, where those who kill people in 2013 and 2016 has to be taken to court and be punished by law. He doesn't want that, because he would be the #1 person to be found guilty, because he created war from nowhere and claimed that there was a coup, and it was a lie. So the GM Council, they say that the failure of revitalized peace agreement should not be blamed on GM Council. So people of South Sudan, you have to know why GM Council is coming out. They know that the peace between Riek has collapsed and is not going to be implemented and is dead. But they want to tell the people that failure, it is not us who are refusing for peace to be implemented, but it is President Kiir. So that's the main reason behind them breaking the silence. They want to tell people it is not us that are telling Kiir don't implement peace, but it is Kiir himself that does not want to implement, to have a new constitution. He wants to continue with this old constitution. tega kaja, you know, donc laman galo yaksem hajat ada nafsu kabir. So President Kiir, for constitution, ada nafsu more powers than anyone in the executive. So he wants this constitution to continue. He doesn't want a new constitution that will take that will give powers to states and to other levels of government. He doesn't want that. So it is true. That's what they have said. They want to tell the people, any collapse of the peace, we are not part of it. It is President Kiir. The last point, and to give chance to my brothers and sisters that will be coming, or Wendit Marial and my brother, Agostino, James. They say in their letter, the aspiration of South Sudanese people have been clearly articulated through the national dialogue. This is where we agree with them. The national dialogue have actually articulated clearly what South Sudanese want. They want Kiir and Riek to step down. And they are saying we are supporting the resolution of national dialogue, which means since Kiir is not going along with them, they want Kiir to step aside and Dr. Riek. So that's what they have said. And this is why I'm saying if they have broken the silence, and as we know, silence is an image of death, it is good for them now to continue, not run away from this statement again.
Moses, can I come back again to you? So because we just wanted to move on with the time, so I can give. I don't want people, to get bored, Jama, because this is very important discussion. So that's why we have to give amount of time. So
thank you so much for the time that you have given me, and I've just stated what was in the letter, and so others who have not read it can have a picture of what we are talking about before we put in our analysis. So it's good for the people to know in which way did Gen Council break the silence. It's that they are telling Kiir step down and follow the resolution of the national dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you. So, and that question, actually, many of you have addressed, Wendy Marial and Agostino. You also has touched that a little earlier. But we have another question here asking us. The Gen Council of Elders also claim they were engaged in peace building between the three regions, namely Bahr al-Ghazal, Equatoria, Upper Nile. So now if we have to ask this question, did these elders really work for peace in the country, or did they pour more oil into the already burning fire and then now? So this is the next question that I wanted to ask all of you. Of course, it's not only about Gen Council elders, but since they came out with this statement, and they are saying that actually they were trying to get the country out of chaos, but they were part of it. And that's why we have to ask this question. So, Wendy Maria, let me start with you and then I'll go to Agostino. Fadal.
Okay, سامعيني؟ سامعيني؟
أنا سامعك واضح.
اوكي. لا شكرا استاذ جونكور وشكرا للحاضرين برضو معليش على
Go ahead and I'll give you 5 minutes as well.
اوكي انا بختصره جدا يا
No problem.
المهم في مجمله الخطاب بتاع جين كانسل اللي هو كسر حاجز الصمت والجمود الحاصل في جنوب السودان ده هو احنا كتنظيم بنرحب به وبنقول له يا اخي ان تاتي متاخرا خير من ان لا تاتي، وده حاجه كويس يعني في الضمير بتاع الانسان. جين كانسل طبعا هم تشوفهم هم طبعا براجماتيه كلهم، كانوا وزراء وكانوا ناس نافذين في الدوله بتاع السودان القديم بتنظيماتهم كلهم. اوكي، لما جو جنوب السودان، لما جنوب السودان بقى دوله، هم التاثير بتاعهم هو قلل، لانه ناس الحركه الشعبيه ورثوا الدوله وورثوا الجيش وورثوا السلطه، فما عندهم اي طريقه ثانيه يدخلوا بها السياسه ده الا عبر افلاس الحركه الشعبيه وتدميرها، وبعد ذلك هم يجوا كوحده سياسيه يقدر يسيطر على الرئيس، وده الحصل. ده اللي حصل. بعد انهيار الحركه الشعبيه في المؤتمر العام بتاعه ده، هم عملوا نفسهم كحكومه ظل كده، بيدوا الدعم السياسي والدعم الشعبي والدعم المعنوي للحكومه ده. ايفن لاصعب المراحل بيجوا يرفضوا الاتفاقيه من اساسا، يعني كانهم هم الجيش الشعبي ولا كانهم هم البرلمان. اوكي، ده تطور كان يعني ملحوظ لاي زول. نجي للسؤال بتاعك اللي انت قلت قبل ده، انه هو فعلا عملوا شنو كتنظيم؟ هل فعلا يتواصلوا مع المجتمعات الثانيه عشان يقدروا يهدوا الوضع بعد الحرب؟ لانه هم ده الكلام اللي بيقولوه هو السبب الاساسي لتكوين التنظيم ده. انه يا اخي ينقذوا البلد من الانهيار التام. اوكي، الجين كانسل عملوا لهم فورم، وعلى ضوءه نوير كانسل، باريا كانسل، ولما انت تشوف التنظيمات دي كلهم هو تنظيمات بيصب لمصلحه التعكير. يعني ما في زول من الناحيه الثانيه انه مثلا يعني زي نوير كانسل فور اكزامبل، هم قبلوا انه الحرب ده يديرون في مناطقهم، هم قبلوا انه الحرب ده اساسه مثلا ما قبلي، او هم اصلا هم كانوا يعني هم سياسيين ولا مواطنين ولا سلاطين، هم كلهم انتهازين، كان في جين كانسل او في نوير كانسل او في اي مجتمع ثاني، حتى شلو كانسل، هم ناس مستفيدين من الحرب والنظام. وحصل يعني في السنتين الاول بعد تكوين ال 28 ستيت، اوكي، الحركه الشعبيه كتنظيم كان غائب عن المشهد. فعملوا شنو ناس جين كانسل او نوير كانسل او اني كانسل اللي هو متابع للكانسل الكبير بتاع كير ده، اللي هو المؤيدين بتاعهم السياسيين المؤيدين للنظام بتاع كير. هم وصلوا لشنو؟ انه المكتب السياسي بتاع الحركه الشعبيه ما بينتخب زول عشان يجيبوك حاكم ولا عشان يجيبوك بتاع محليه ولا عشان يجيبوك اي حاجه. المكتب السياسي هو ما بيعمل لك نومينيت، الكوميونتي اللي هو رئيس الرابطه اللي هو مرتبط مع جين كانسل او مرتبط مع نوير كانسل او مرتبط مع باريا ولا شنو كانسل، اللي هو التنظيمات عبر كير ده، المجالس بتاع كير، هم اللي بيدوا ريكومنديشن عشان يعينوك كحاكم او كاي منصب. فده جلب خلافات كثيره جدا في جوبا، انه الكوميونتي بقى هو المؤسسه السياسيه الواحد بيطلع عبره للسلطه. فكان في صراعات كثيره داخل الهناي داخل التنظيمات في جوبا بسبب انه التنظيم او الكوميونتي، المجلس بتاع كوميونتي او رابطه بتاع كوميونتي بقى وحده سياسيه عشان انك تصل للسلطه. ده النتيجه الحتميه للمجالس اللي هو عملوه. فبالتالي يا جماعه هم لويس الناي قبل 3 سنين كان جاي هنا، اللي هو كان زمن داق السكرتير بتاع جين كانسل. ونفس الكلام اللي كتبوه في التقرير بتاعه هنا ده فورس فور جود، وهم كانوا بيدوا ادفايس لبريزيدنت كير، وانهم كانوا عندهم مسؤوليه اخلاقيه عشان الدوله ما ينهار. نفس الكلام ده جا قالوا هنا. وفي نفس الوقت بيهاجموا اي زول طلع ضد كير في السياسه او في الحزب او في الجيش. يعني ناس دين على الارض ما خلوا فيه حاجه، ناس باقانا امام ده ما خلوا فيه حاجه، ده ريك ده خليه، ده العدو والشيطان الاكبر يعني لجنوب السودان، ما خلوا فيه حاجه. ده تنظيم اجتماعي ولا تنظيم سياسي ولا هو شنو هو؟ فعشان كده بنقول نحن كدينكا، اي دينكاوي بيعرف انه ان احنا بس عندنا تنظيم واحد وهو تنظيم ثقافي اللي هو اسمه اتحاد بتاع الجين. ده كان موجود في السودان وموجود في دول الجوار كله كتنظيم ثقافي. كنا ما بنناقش فيه حاجات السياسه، كنا ما بنناقش فيه اي حاجه مرتبط بالجيش والامن والاقتصاد، كنا بنناقش فيه ثقافتنا وكيف نطورها، لغتنا، عاداتنا، كل الحاجات ده كان هو بيتم فيه، رقصاتنا، كل الحاجات ده كان تنظيم قوي جدا. ومن هناك انت كان عندك طموح سياسي دار تبقى اي حاجه ممكن تطلع من التنظيم ده كناشط فيه او كرئيس او كتنفيذي، تمشي للحزب اللي بيقدر يعني في تصوراتك، اللي بيقدر يقدم لك تصوراتك وينفذه. والناس هناك بيعرفوك انك كادر وعندك خلفيه يعني للشغل ده. لكن هسه جين كانسل ده بيجوا شنو محللين سياسيين، بيجوا بيرفضوا الاتفاقيات بتاع الدوله ذاتها، بيجوا اهم من الحزب اللي هو الحاكم.
لقطة حديث الرئيس سلفا كير قال يا اخي انا راجع to go and make more consultation in Juba. Who was going to make more consultation? Was going to make more consultation with Jane Council elders in 20.
ده بعد ما حددوا جين كانسل ده، لما حددوا قال انت كان وقعت الاتفاقيه ده ما تجي جوبا.
ما تجي جوبا
ما تجي جوبا. اوكي. فعلى فكره جين كانسل ده طبعا هو ما تنظيم سائل، هو جهاز الامن كله والجيش كله هم عندهم عناصر فيه.
اوكي. شكرا.
هم عندهم عناصر فيه. فباختصارا يعني هم عملوا كونسلتيشن كاتحادات او مجالس للرئيس الفكير. هم عملوا كوميونيتيز، لانه ما في زول عمل له الكشن. نوير كانسل ما في زول عمل له الكشن، جين كانسل ما في زول عمل له الكشن، وكل المجالس اللي هو نتج بعد الحرب وما في زول انتخبوا. فهم كويس، نحن بنأيد اي خطاب بتاعهم اللي هو بيأيد التغيير وبيأيد الاسس بتاع ناشونال دايلوج. النقطة أخيرة بس عشان أدي فرص لباقي الناس. طبعا أي زول العارف واللي بيفهم في السياسة واللي بيفهم التغيرات الدولية الحاصل ده عارفين إنه النظام ده لو عاش ما بيتم السنتين ديل بدون ما يسقط أو بدون ما يحصل تغيير داخلي لحكومة بتاع كير. كل المؤشرات بتدل على كده، سواء في أمريكا أو في الإقليم بتاعنا. هو بيأشر إنه البلد خلاص وصل لمرحلة بتاع الانهيار لو كير ده استمر في السلطة. ولو استمر في السلطة ما بيقدر يغني أي زول إنه يقعد في السلطة ده لشنو؟ بقانون انتقالي ولا بحرب. أوكي؟ وهو بيرجح الكفة الأخيرة بتاعت الحرب ده، إنه الحرب بيخلق فوضى وبيخليه يقعد في السلطة. والكلام ده الحرب ده لو قام تاني أكيد بيكون في تغيير جذري بيحصل، ما بيكون زي الحرب اللي هو الناس يمشوا أديس أبابا يوقعوا اتفاقيات ويجيبوا 5 نواب رئيس جمهورية والبلد تفلس والحرب ما تجيب وما في شيء بيتغير في النظام بتاع الدولة. فده الكلام الأخير. هم يعرفوا إنه كير حصان خسران، رهان خاسر، وما بيقدر يربطوا نفسهم بهم تاني عشان يقدر يساعدوا. وبالمناسبة يعني في واحد منهم قال لي يا أخي الراجل ده كير قال نحن قدمنا له كل حاجة، اللي هو الرئيس كان ذكي ممكن يقدر يحكم البلد ده وممكن يغوض البلد اللي قدام، لكن هو بيتفق معانا ولما نمشي جس مسافة بسيطة كده بيغير رأيه. قال زول زي ده يقدر يساعدوه كيف تاني؟ يقدر يساعدوه كيف عشان يقعد في السلطة ده؟ قال زول ده يعني الرجع قوم جين، يعني قال أساء سمعة بتاع جين وأساء سمعة بتاع البلد، فنحن ما بنقدر نساعده تاني. وانت كان ملاحظ الاستغلالات الكثيره اللي قاعد يحصل ده، هسه فضل فيه كم نفر الجين كانسل ده، فضل فيه نويس نايدا ما قدم استقالته ومش انضم لملهم. كان على اساس شنو يعني؟ اللي هو فشلوا في اقناع كثير انه السياسه اللي بيرسموا ناس جين كانسل ديل هي هو السياسه اللي ممكن يحمي البلد ويمكن يقدم البلد لقدام. وبالعكس السياسه ده هسه دمرنا، وده كله انت شايفه في المعارضه. يعني ما قادرين نتحد عشان الجين كانسل فرقنا كثير، السياسه بتاعهم فرق الجنوبيين كثير، ما بنقعد وما بنثق في بعض. فاخيرا يعني اذا هم قبلوا انهم هم فورس فور جود، هم كانوا قلبهم على البلد وانهم المسؤوليه الاخلاقيه بتاعهم طلع وقال يا اخي نحن ما بنأيد استمرار بتاع كير وريق مشهر ثاني في السلطه، فده والله ده قوه خير. نحن ما بنهتم بتاريخهم القديم، اللهم بس يكونوا ورا الشعب ويدعموا الشعب لتغيير بتاع الحكومه ده. فنحن بنرحب بالتغيير الاستراتيجي بتاعهم ده، وبنقول لهم انتوا واقفوا واغنوا باقي الناس في الخدمه العامه وفي الجيش انه الحكومه ده هو ميت لازم يمشي بالتغيير السلمي. وشكرا.
شكرا استاذ وندي مريال. Of course, yeah. الموضوع اللي انت قلت ده الكلام اللي بقوله بطموان جنراني يدق. So they try, they manipulate it, and they work out Kir using them and them using Kir, but at the end of the day they are not going anywhere because like زي ما أنا قلت قبل في البداية Kir بيحب ثلاثيات 3 سنة 2000 3 سنة ثانية 3 سنة 2030 والآن more reluctant إنه ما ينفذ الاتفاقية اللي هو أصر عليه. ليه؟ لأنه well maybe there is no war or maybe there is no any other healer. ما في healer ثاني. أفضل إنه كل وقت نعين وزير وزيرين ونقعد شهر 6 شهور 7 شهور. And that strategy that he took actually with the last peace agreement, which is revitalized agreement with the 28.
في استاذ جونكور ما قطع على حديثك، في تطور امبارح قالوا مجلس الوزراء صدق على الهايبرد كورت. فلما تجي تسال نفسك اللي هو عشان البيس والريكونسيليشن يتم فلازم المحاكم الناس اللي انتهكوا حقوق الانسان في الحرب بتاع 2013 ده لازم يتحاكموا. الكلام ده مجلس الوزراء اجازه امبارح. فانا بقيت قاعد اسال نفسي قلت له ده فعلا صحيح قاعد يحصل في البلد بتاعنا ده، انه مجرمين الحرب انكلودينج ريك وكير وكل من قتل نفس يدخلون محاكم بتاع يوان. صحيح بيحصل الكلام ده؟ ولا بس هو بعد احداث بتاع جين كانسل وبعد التغيير اللي حصل في امريكا ده خلاص شايفوا انه كل التوقعات ضدهم، فبالتالي بيعزفوا على الاوتار بتاع البند الخامس من الاتفاقيه بتاع ريفيتلايز بيس اجريمنت، وبيحاولوا يتوددوا للاداره الامريكيه انه احنا حننفذ والترتيبات الامنيه انا شايفهم برضه قالوا دايرين ينفذوا كله. ده كله يا جماعه شراء زمن. ما كير ده ما حيقدر يغوط بلد لسلام حقيقي ابدا ابدا.
اكيد زي ما انا قلت له كير يعملوا الحاجه اللي ما عملوا في 16 سنه ممكن يجي يعمل في 8 شهور، لان السلام 18 عشان هسه نرجع لشاركيزا كان وقف فيه سلام باقي 8 شهر. الان احنا في جانوري 2021 لما نمشي لسبتمبر 2021 ده بيكون خلاص، ده بيكون يبقى 3 سنه تمت. لكن هو بيعمل على ديني شنو 3 سنه انا قلت لك قبل، ويعملوا هيله ويقعد كم شهر البرلمان ما يعينوا ذاته ياخذ ثاني سنه كامل، ويا دوب سمين مبارك العين والي لابنايل بعد كم من الزمان. اوكي سو هو
على فكره ده بدايه الحرب ذاته.
ما that's what I'm saying that there is another thing that coming up، لانه حاجه اللي بخليه مثلا يقعد ثاني ويجي يعمل سلام. سو الناس اللي ما فيهم سلفا كير المفروض يفهموا، لان اساسا اللي ما فيهم من زمان المفروض يفهم. كده شوف المشوار اللي انا مشيناه معاه، انا ماشيين خطوه خطوه. يقول نمشي يمين معاه، نمشي عروشه، نصلي نمشي اديس، نمشي خرطوم، اوكي نرجع ثاني، وانا متابعينه من يوم الاول الى ما لا نهايه. سو الراجل ما منه اي يعني حاجه ما عمل في 16 سنه ممكن يعمل 8 شهر. اكيد 2021 شهر 9 جايه وسلام ما يتنفذ. عشان كده قلنا من الاول it was not genuine and they call us we are peace sabotaging peace. نزل على سلام وما اعرف الناس زمان اللي سكتوا. give chance to national dialogue now came out to the light and they are quiet. ناس يقولوا جرو الكلام بيتكلم give peace a chance, give national dialogue a chance, and now they are not talking anything. So شكرا وندي مريال. انا داير ادي my dear brother، انا ما داير اتكلم كثير، داير اديه chance كمان هو كمان يعلق وبعدين we move on عشان نمشي للنكست مور ونجيب ناس ثانيين كمان.
انت هتطلعني برا مش؟
انا ممكن اطلعك ونرجع ثاني في مع بعض.
يا that's fine.
طلعك برجع في مع بعض. So James Agustino, go ahead my dear brother, I want to give you a chance and then I bring to Moses. انا موسى قبل ما كمل نجيب باقي شله ثانيين اللي لسه قاعدين برا. تفضل جيمس.
شكرا ثاني اخي جنكور، واحيي المشاهدين الاماجد. حقيقه يعني الحلقه جميله وشيقه وبنتكلم عن حاجات المسكوت عنها. حضور جين كانسل في الاونه الاخيره كعمل عام يعني ما مرفوض، يعني ايا كان انت عملت شنو لابد، لانه الانسان خطاء احيانا او دائما، لكن لما ترجع من الخطا بتاعك تمشي للصواب يعني شيء مقبول. ان احنا ما حندينه، ربما جايين بافكار جديده، ولكن اذا هم جو بالافكار الماثله امامنا اللي هو ما ينكر كل شعب جنوب السودان، ان احنا كل المآسي الحاصلة في جنوب السودان من هذا المجلس المعين المسمى بالجين كانسل دي حقيقة نحن نغر بها. إذا هم استمروا بالمنهج بتاعهم ده أكيد حيمشوا مزبلة التاريخ، والتاريخ ما حينساهم. ولكن لو جو برؤية جديدة نحن ما دارين نشخصن الأشياء، حتى نفس الأشخاص دير إذا جو برؤية جديدة في صالح البلد والمواطنين. الهم الأول والأخير أخي جنكور والضيوف الكرام والمشاهدين أنه نحن دارين دولة نعيش فيها باحترام، ونعيش فيها في معاش كويس، أنه حياة أمنية متوفرة، أنه الناس المواطنين ما تتشرد أنه تمشي دول الجوار، تمشي تنهان هناك، أو تمشي معسكرات اللجوء. الحاجات دي أصلا ما مقبولة لأي جهة ما أنه قاعدة في سدة الحكم هناك أو في جيوان، ما مقبولة على الإطلاق، لأنه في النهاية المواطن الجنوبي هو اللي بيدفع فاتورة الثمن، بغض النظر عن المكون بتاعه، بغض النظر ما جيوان ده فيه كل المكونات. أما جين كانسل نحن عارفين البنات أفكاره جاية من وين، ونحن ما حنقبلها تاني كمواطني جنوب السودان أنه نعيش تجربة تانية زي دي على الإطلاق، لأنه نحن عانينا الأمرين. أما رجوعهم بالثوب الجديد نخليها للأيام، نحن نجي نشوف هم حيقدموا لمواطني جنوب السودان شنو. ولكن أنا في اعتقادي الشخصي والمتواضع يجب أنه الإدارات أو الأحزاب الجاية يحكموا في جنوب السودان يفصلوا بين العمل الحزبي والمكونات المجتمعية. يعني دمج السياسة في الاجتماع خطر جدا جدا في مجتمعات زي مجتمعاتنا في إفريقيا أو في جنوب السودان بالتحديد، لأنه أنت لما تسيس مجتمع من الصعب تطلعوا تاني من الصبغة اللي هو خاشي فيها دي. لكن السياسة بيتغيروا لأنه هم بيتحركوا وفق أيديولوجيات ومتمرسين، دي شغلتهم. يعني ممكن بعض مرات يكونوا أصحاب في بعض ذاتهم، ولكن المجتمع أنت إذا خربته من الصعب عشان تجي تصلح. عشان كده نحن ندعو كل الساسة في بلادنا الحبيبة، نحن بلدنا دي ما بنابها حتى لو بقت جنازة بحر، أنه الناس تجي بفكر جديد بعيد من الانتماءات الإثنية، لأنه ما استفدنا منها حاجة. 16 سنة نحن قاعدين في الدوامة دي. أما جيتهم دي نحن كمواطنين لحد هسي مواطني جنوب السودان مرحبين بها. حنشوفهم وات نكست الخطوة الثانية. إذا أبدلنا حسن النية وجابوا حاجة تخدمنا نحن كمواطني جنوب السودان بالتأكيد حنكون معهم وبنشيد من أزرم. ولكن لو جو بنفس العقلية بغض النظر عن أفراد مرفوضة جملة وتفصيلا، لأنه نحن تاني يا أستاذ جنكور والضيوف الكرام ما عندنا زمن تاني عشان نعيش في حياة بتاع التشرد، لأنه حياة التشرد براكم أنتم شفتوا بقى تجيب لنا الإهانات انكلودين دم ذاته. الوصف الأخير بتاع الرئيس اليوغندي، وأنا ما دار أخرج عن النص بتاع وصفنا أنه نحن بلو بيبل، ما هو ده نحن فتحنا الباب من يهون يسهل هوانا عليه. نحن في بلد داخل جوا بلدنا نحن ممكن نفرز بعض. يا
في ستيتمنت قالوا كمان يا جيمس، في ناس يوغنديين صحفي يوغندي كلمت معاه قال لي الرئيس بتاع يوغندا قال شنو؟ قال جنوب السودان ده قال انا لو قفلت لهم حدود كلهم هيموتوا. رايت؟ هو قاعد اس ذات سيتويشن اللي ودانا هناك شنو؟ طبعا الحكومه، لان انت ما عندك استراتيجيات بتاع بلان مستقبل، عندك اونلي لايف لاين. يعني ده الشارع الوحيد اللي بناه يونايتد ستيتس اوف امريكا، وانت ما عندك بلان. المفروض كان يكون في دايفرسيفيكيشن اوف ايكونومي، شيل قروش تاع اويل، اعمل زراعه عشان الناس يكون في شريف في البلد، في زراعه، في حاجات كثيره عندنا يمكن يكون موجود. لكن الان يوغندا بقت شنو؟ موسيفيني has right. He can say whatever they want to say. لانه خلاص عرف ناس ديل they are nothing, they are dumb. عشان كده يمكن يقول نحن بلو، نحن ريد، نحن وين، نحن any kind of. يمكن يقول ده ناس بلو، ناس ما بيفكروا، الناس they cut between being here مع الشمال، مع عرب، مع دول عربيه، مع قطر ومع عربيه. They are just in blue. They don't know what they're doing. It's not necessarily to be a blue color. لكن blue in ideas. blue دائما بيرمز لحزين، لإنسان حزين ما بيعرف huge. That's what it is. You know. فكمل يا حبيبي.
يلا شكرا جزيلا جدا يا أستاذ جنكور، أنت وضحت أكثر. يا فعلا الصحفي اليوغندي ده محق في كلامه، لأنه نحن لو جينا للحقيقة يا أخي جنكور نحن من ناحية إمكانيات وكوادر أحسن من يوغندا بكثير جدا جدا.
جنوبيين ناس عندهم شجاعة وناس يعني جبر والقوة. They cannot put up with something for long. Look, this guy, how long he has been president? 36 years. Did they kick him out? لكن right now زولا كفانا 5 سنين 6 سنين كفانا. We have جنوب قاعد يتكلم everywhere. We have people common purpose actually, you know. And change will happen in South Sudan. It will happen. تفضل.
يا اكيد التغيير بيجي يا اخي جنكور. ان شاء الله المرحله نحن اللي فيها دي تكون في قادم الايام تكون مرحله تاريخيه وعدت. ما في مشكله، الشعوب بعض مرات بتمر باحداث زي دي والتاريخ بيتغير ونحن نستفيد من اخطاء الماضي عشان نعيش في بلدنا كلنا معززين ومكرمين. لما نجي نتكلم في الميديا هنا نجي نتكلم عن الجوانب الثقافيه والرياضيه، نكون يعني نامن انه بلدنا في يد امينه. ان شاء الله نحن في قادم الايام هيجينا يوم زي ده والتغيير آتي يا أستاذ جنكور. يعني أنتم ما قاعدين تقصروا في العمل العام وفي الميديا وخطابكم، يعني الشباب، يعني شباب جنوب السودان لسه بخير. يعني أنا شاهدت لي قبل 6 شهور ورا يعني ود شاب صغير تقريبا في العشرينات، يعني هو بيتحدث عن جين كانسر ده، قال نحن ما مسؤولين عن جين كانسر خالص نهائيا لأنه نحن ما الجهة اللي فوضناها. يعني إذا في شباب بيتكلم كده معناته صدقني يا اخي جنكور والضيوف بلدنا دي حتكون كويسه. اذا كير ده مشى من السلطه نحن متفائلين بلدنا حتكون كويسه، وان شاء الله نلقى نياندين قاعده في مريد هناك مرتاحه، ونلقى يروما قاعده في اويل هناك مرتاحه مع الناس، ونلقى اولاد المك حايمين في ضواحي يامبيا. نعيش زي ما كنا زمان. نحن شعب بنحب بعض. السياسه هي اللي قاعد تفرق بيناتنا، لكن نحن كمكونات صدقني بنحب بعض وحنظل نحب بعض. والساسه اللي يجي يفتنونا ديل حيكونوا في مزبله التاريخ. شكرا جزيلا جدا جدا اخي جنكور، واشكر ضيوفك الاماجد اللي قاعدين قدامي ومستمعينك في المنبر بتاعك. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا استاذ جيمس اغوستينو دونجل. It was good, an honor to have you my dear brother. Please keep coming back. We are in it together. لحد ما نصل الى light dark at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me go ahead and give this gentleman a chance here. أنا بشكرك أستاذ Wolf for coming back because there is more thing that you want to clarify. Of course, let me go ahead and give Moses a chance here, and I will go for you, inshallah. Go ahead, Moses.
Well, Ustad Jonkor, thank you again for giving me this opportunity to complete what I was saying, and I greet you, Worlding Attack, and Sabal Khair. Good. I know you went and had some nap. I hope you wake up with a fresh mind to join us in the movement and stop promoting Kir agenda in our show here. So let me go back to answer the question. Jonkor, it is good to answer the question. That's what can make the viewers to learn and to benefit from the talk, the show. Young Council of Elders has added fuel into the crisis, the political crisis. That's my answer. In which way? First, if you look at the individuals who are in the Young Council, the individuals and how they think and their political beliefs, what are they aiming for? Because some people in South Sudan, they don't even know who are those members in Young Council. So, because if you know the members, you can know the ideas that they have. First, if you look at Bwana Malwal is a member of Young Council. What ideas does Bwana Malwal have toward the SPLM vision? Most people, they know his political stand. Because one thing I like about Bwana Malwal, he doesn't hide his opinion. He will say it straight away. So does Bwana Malwal want the SPLM vision to continue or to succeed the SPLM government? That's a question I will leave it to the people. So if you go to other members, for example, Makunlu is a member of a Young Council of Elders.
Yes?
Yes. So, Makunlu personally is a man of work. He does the job. But his political statements are always fueling the crisis. But in terms of what he can offer to the country, For example, the office of of James Waniga, the vice president, that office, which is also the Federal Affairs, Ministry of Federal Affairs, they are sharing that building. The person who built that building was Makwendwe. So this is the only politician within Jen Council that you can point at his good work. And now he's building another building for the media. But his political statements that he made, we all know is how he talks. His political statement has fueled a lot of, has created a lot of hatred toward even Dinka. Yes, he can do the job, but his the political message is not matching with what he's doing. So if you go to Ambrose Ring, he's a member of Jen Council. He talked to Kir to appoint his own son as a deputy minister of finance. I was there. So they have used Kir, and Kir have used Jen Council. So Jen Council, they have employed their own kids. Bona Malwal has appointed his own son to represent us in UN. Is that not the personal interest? So they have used Jen Council as a tool to employ their own kids. I have any problem with their kids being employed if they are qualified, but they have to be employed in a right way, in a right manner.
Be vetted. They have to be vetted with other Sudanese.
Yes, it has to be based on merit. Like when Stephen Dew was a minister, the son of Ambrose Ring came from Germany. They appointed him as a deputy minister. So all this, the kids of Young Council of Elders, the kids of these members are the one benefiting from the government of President Kir. So that is the common factor that unites them. The idea of 28 states has benefited President Kir because it has created a discussion between 10 states and 28 states. And it has helped him to buy time to stay in power. And I asked one of the people who came up with the idea of 28 states in Jen Council of Elders, and I will not expose his name here. I asked him in his office, why did you come up with the 28 states? He said, because we Jen Council, we want to make sure that the oil does not belong to Nuer land, because Nuer will go and tell America that the oil is in Nuer land and we will give you the oil if America can help Nuer during that 2013 war to fight. But this is a lame thinking, a weak thinking. There are natural resources, whether the oil is in Dinka land or Nuer land or Sholo land or Equatorial land, it is a natural and national resources. You don't need to create problems, because all these states that they came up with, they have borders issues. Sholo now are complaining, Sholo and Nuer, and there are no clear borders between the states. So this Jen Council have fueled the crisis, by the way. They did not help, in my view. Some people may say, oh, they have helped, but they have added fire to the political crisis, creating the issue of borders between the states, which is not necessary. Trying to connect resources to tribes.
Moses?
Oil should not be connected with Nuer or Dinka. It is a national resource.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
to do with being
I want to give Ustaz Wolkaman a chance and then go to Agwat so we can,
Thank you.
And allow more people to come in. So Ustaz Wol, welcome back. I know you hear this topic is very heated.
I'm going to leave Jonkor, sorry, to give other people a chance, but
okay.
Thank you very much. And
I'm going to bring you back too, because we still have more discussion.
Yeah, I will be around, but I need, because this screen take 4 people at a time, I need to give you a chance to bring other people.
I will do that. Okay, Ustaz Wol, welcome back, and let's go ahead and give you an opportunity, because I know you wanted to add more I asked so many questions, and actually the question of the day tonight I'll be asking at the end of the program. But yeah, go ahead. And I think you look like you want to clarify thing, or do you want me to continue with the question? I can go ahead.
Yeah, let me jump in with the issue of Jiang Council of Elders.
Okay.
As I did mention earlier, that they are part of society, part of the citizen of South Sudan, and they're entitled for their opinions, and their opinion like any other citizens. And when you are entitled to opinion, it means that you communicate, and communication is very difficult. Yep. In the sense that sometimes, or most of the time, the message that we send or the words that we speak depend on other person to interpret them. And sometimes, if they're poorly communicated or well articulated, the difference is in with the person who is decoding the message that you are sending to the person. Their messages or their opinions in regards to the peace agreement and negotiation of it thereof might have, in a way, created unintended or misinterpretation of the facts of what they wanted to say. And that's why it is important when one's communicating to decode, to encode the message in a way that incorporate the mind or that understanding of the other person. I would not in a way restrict or condemn anybody who is speaking up their minds, but what you are going to speak must be something that bring us together, but not that which can tear us apart. As I said earlier, that the messages that they were sending out during the peace negotiations in 2014 and thereafter,
2018,
until 2018, I might not agree with them, but doesn't mean that I buy it, because they were delivered in a way that caused confusions, fueling the fuel into the burning fire, and caused more suffering in the country. And again, I would say, under an informed perspective, that even the creation of 28 states was not initially a government agenda. It is a group within the government that's lobbied Kir. When they lobbied Kir, Kir has realized there was a group called JCE Council of Elders who came with 24 states as a proposal, whether it was a counter against Riek Machar, 21 states, or their own agenda, they tabled it. But Kir wasn't interested in it. He lost the paper. I remember I was in Juba, and I was in the media. I investigated it. President Kir sent for the message, but for the copy of the document that he has lost because it was submitted to him. They had to call Ambrose, who was in WAB at that time, bring out the copy. He has to get a ticket to come to Juba to submit it. And the 28 states come out in J1 after Lawrence Korbandi, the advisor of President Kir, Awenakut, a number of others who sat together, including members of JCE Council of Elders, who brought in the states in. It blew to 28, and then it also grew to 32. This is a history. I would want us not to focus much on it. What I would think we should now focus on it, citizens of South Sudan, is how do we resolve the issues that are affecting us? And one of the solutions that have been brought out by the National Dialogue report is that late President Salva Kiir and Riek Machar step out. Then what is the way forward? For me, is how. The how is directly start negotiating with Kiir and Riek as a citizen of South Sudan and the independent platform. We will ask them accept and embrace the the National Dialogue reports. You either tell us you are stepping down, or you are not contesting elections, coming next election, not contesting in the next coming elections. Or alternatively, we come in with an ultimatum, and that is citizen power. And that's why it is important for us, the South Sudanese, to come together at this present stage and embrace the National Dialogue Report, own it, and move forward to direct force and get keen and react to get to our attention such that we can take our country back and put it under democracy that we sacrifice fighting for, we hope to build for. That has been said, let me remind you, my fellow countrymen and women, that the regime in Juba is not for you and not for me and anyone else, or even for the country. It's for themselves. And this is the facts I will tell you. Or this is the reason why I believe it is not for us. It is busy undoing jobs that are existing by closing down the businesses to cause more suffering and make you and I more dependent on them. If you get to this Pavlov theory in psychology, learning by conditioning, there's certain condition when a human being is forced into, you end up living there and then you end up not reacting to it and begin to think about the immediate needs of a person. That is, at the bottom of it, the basic need, food in the stomach, having something to buy. And it doesn't happen, you will not have ability to question the things that are happening in the country. Let me give you one example. Bibasel was employing thousands of South Sudanese. But the government shut it down to the people of Southern losing thousands of jobs, becoming jobless. These people become dependent of handouts from the thieves who are stealing their own money and give them something. Why is that happening? It is happening because the government have a design that want you and I to be more impoverished. And why would you let such a government be in place? It's not for us. He has closed down the Al-Watan newspaper, Nation, Citizens, name it. And we are giving hundreds of jobs to the South Sudanese. Why? Is to cut down the income that you have. And a responsible government always don't do that. A responsible government creates jobs, not to take away the jobs from citizens. To reduce poverty, not to increase it. The war we talk about was deliberately initiated in order to keep the current government in power. And imagine the things we stop doing, the progress that we undo, or undone rather, because we are fighting. For the last 4 years that we've been fighting or so, or more, what if we were in peace? How much time would you use? I mean, what creativity would you have brought in to progress and develop South Sudan? What more would you have done in matter of creating jobs, schools, and so forth? Development would have gone high. But because some individuals want to remain in power, they wait when such time comes when we are implementing peace agreement, they create war. They created in 2013 when we were preparing for elections for 2015. They created again in 2016, and now they are doing it again. This should be enough for us to say no to them. And let's unite and say no and unite and remove them from the power by popular uprising. That's the only way that we could do. Because elections would not remove Kir or Riek Machar. Because they only use the militia to rig, to create fire, to kill innocent citizens, and to destroy what we are supposed to achieve. Why then can we let them go and bring in new people? And I want to tell this message to my fellow Dinka men. Change cannot come in your absentia, in active demand for the change in South Sudan. Rally behind Kir does not solve the problem, because even now, as they take their wines, their whiskey, celebrating, eating their well, you have 3 or 4 days without food. You have 6 to 9 months without your salary. At the end, when Christmas comes, I think since January, you will not have salary. Until when we are heading to December, they will give you 2 months. And the 10 months will say it is lost. Where does that money go to? It goes to them. You will continue to suffer, and you continue to suffer, and no solution will come to your problems. And like if you would allow me, the presenter,
to speak
in this. I think the Bakuma can work with no Manjanga. Ngongin to a yoke. In Louis Lanakuma, the Chathor Yakuma, India, you were Kusha, in Louis. I say again, I get pay Tiarco. Go we pay Carabi, we take again, who pay Tiar, Benmar. He approved in Jeshabe, national security, of course, national security, that tiger, they get their money, of course, every month. But the rest of the part of the organized forces, I can work at you. In a quite Google way. And we are one tower or thorough by why Jedam, who get Adam again with you. We need Jedam. Why is it that they said during the war you are fighting the war without salary? How come this thing apply to you only and doesn't apply to them? They get the salary every month. Their allowances for water, hospitality, they call it, the dressing codes, the allowances for travel, they all come to them, including medical care. What do you get? Even if you thumb your chair and say, this is my government. The government killing your own people? The government that is distributing arms to the citizens and ammunition and tell them to fight and kill yourself? And the defeated one will be called a woman and not a man? And these are the word of the President of the Republic of South Sudan. I'm telling this, they're distributing the guns because the citizens of South Sudan do not manufacture guns. They do not manufacture ammunition. They do not even have license to import guns abroad. It's the government of South Sudan that bring them. And they find their hands, the gun finds itself in the hands of the civilians. And the same government under Salva Kiir is saying, you can fight if you want to fight, and the defeated person would be a woman, would be called a woman, daring the citizen to kill themselves. Could you call that a government of your own? And remember, in your village, in Tony, in Gogrial, in anywhere, where people are dying are your brothers and sisters. They're also Dinka. You're not the only Dinka in the towns. Whether you're sitting in America or sitting in US or Australia, New Zealand, wherever you are a Dinka, and your Dinka brother is being killed by another fellow Dinka by the action of the government of South Sudan. This government must change. Otherwise, we will not have the life our people deserve to have in South Sudan. The pursuit of human life is happiness. But South Sudanese are not having it. It's deprived of them because every week they are mourning the loss of their relatives, either through the neglect or through the act of unknown gunmen sponsored by the government of South Sudan, or that through diseases like COVID-19 is dying. By the way, we're only hearing the passing or the death of the politicians. The ordinary citizens are not hearing this, are not being told the effect of COVID situations. The children of the poor are not going to school, they're not getting health services. It's only the politicians. And let's come it also this way. If you are a businessman that do not agree to the looting and to stealing, you lose. You don't get it. If you are a businessman that sing the song of the corrupt, you get paid 100 times of the value of the contract that you've signed with the government because it is recycled. Take out the money and share it with the politicians. Where would the money come from to pay the salary? When I have a contract worth $1 million, but it's paid 100 times. It's cleared and then reinstated in the system, in the books, in the computer, that it has not been paid. And those who have genuine businesses, theirs is deleted because they're not good. Not good because they don't play to the tune of the government. This surge of corruption, my brothers and sisters, will never take South Sudan anywhere. And there is no reform that can come under the current president of the Republic. My brothers, if you don't agree with me, it's okay, it's all right, you don't have to agree with me. But I'm telling you based on the experience of what the things I know and things that I have seen. Mm-hmm. I was part of the government of South Sudan. I resigned from it because of the corruption, because of willingness to create war and peace. I resigned because of unwillingness of the government of South Sudan to end the suffering of the people of South Sudan. I am proud to be outside and to be with you. But what I'm stating to you, my brother, are the things that I have seen, I have witnessed. There are things that I cannot talk about because of what they call collective ministerial responsibility, executive responsibility, that I would keep quiet rather than talking about them. But there's nothing good in this government, in South Sudan government, that is good for you or I. Let's stop looking around to bombard our anger, bend our anger against each other, against Gen Council of Elders. No, the final decision maker is in J1, is the government of South Sudan. And that is the problem of South Sudan. I mean, the people of South Sudan people of South Sudan. It cannot and will not move an inch without you and I united and demand what is right. John Garang did say one thing. You never be given your right, just take it. You claim what is yours. You know this is yours, you pick it up. You don't beg somebody to give you what is yours. Our right is to have a prosperous South Sudan and have a government in place that is caring, loving, and committed to the welfare of the nation. It is our right to install the government. It is our right to get it out. Because if the government breaks the contracts that we assign with it, such a government that loses immediately its legitimacy and it must be removed. Peaceful, popular uprising is the only way that can get rid of this government, not guns. Remember, not guns, because these people have been fighting for over 20 years using guns. And they're using guns as an excuse to stay in power. So we cannot play into their tunes. Our power that we have, which they don't have, is popular uprising. We need to rise, flood the street. I know they've defended the Juba International Airport, but they can never fend the Juba. They defend Dr. John Garang, but they will never fence Airport Road, Amarad Roads, and road to the Blue House. We can flood them, and so we sit there, and they will go if you do that. And when you do that, the South Sudanese will see a new light. A new dawn, a better future, less corruption, less tribalism, and development for all. My brothers and sisters, I will stop there. South Sudan is for us. May God bless you, and may God bless South Sudan.
Brother Woldeng Attack, thank you so much for coming on, and just a phenomenal, statement. Thank you so much one more time. Yes, and to our viewers, one of the reasons that we are questioning, the Gen Council of Elders, you question the judgment because based on what we have seen, happening. Because if you want to set a good example to the people, you don't set people for a failure. And that's why any change that we need in our country, change that we believe in, is not change that going to remove Salva Kiir and Riek Machar only. It's a drastic change that actually people are going to be just, people are prosperous, there will be security in the country. If Salva Kiir is removed, Riek Machar is removed, and that's it, we can get another Salva Kiir, we can get another Riek Machar, and that's what we don't want, a change of the system. They go and system that will be just to everybody. That's what we want. System that people will be accountable. And that's why we tend to question the judgment of someone. If you did something wrong in the past, we are still saying that, okay, why did you say that? For instance, when they said that, when the parties signed the revitalized peace agreement, the resolution conflict in South Sudan in September 2018, the JCE did not make any statement because we did not want to be misunderstood again and be considered as anti-peace. Now the verdict is out and our fear have been confirmed once again. I agree with their latest statement that actually the verdict is out. The verdict by the people of South Sudan, that actually they have agreed on the grassroots level. In Salva Kiir, Riek Machar, they must step aside if South Sudan is to move forward.
Yes.
Now, South Sudan cannot move forward if Riek and Kiir are there. South Sudan cannot have a credible election if Kiir and Riek are running for election. South Sudan cannot move any inches because 16 years, they have not showing that. And there is no reason to believe that they are going to do it for the next coming 3 years, for the next coming 10, even 10 years. There is no way. The question of the judgment here, you cannot say that I did not want to do this because I'm worried people are going to judge me, that I am anti-peace. At the same time, you are my elder. You are someone that being there. You were a minister in government of Nimeri. You've been there and you've been vetted. And
correct.
Correct. You want to stay away. You said, oh, I want to stay out of trouble. That's why we said, really?
Correctly, it's right. It's right, Ustad Jonkor. It's very true.
Yeah.
In the sense that two wrongs don't make a right.
Correct.
Keeping quiet is wrong. But if you also visit the stand,
yeah,
in 2014, when reinstatement of Riek Machar as the first vice president was mentioned in the talks, they were opposed to it. They said, no, they don't want it. JCE said, no. It will encourage others to come in and seek the position. We don't want it. And again, they also said, Riek Machar can nominate anybody else in some of the public communication that they've made. But still, it does not justify, because if you are for peace, and you know the causes of it, if truly they wanted solution from that time, they would have called on the negotiators. They said, well, it seemed like Riek and Kiir are reaching that deadlock. Can you push the two to step aside, such that we will have a level ground and bring everybody on? But that did not happen. And truly, I have to be honest with them as well. I respect them. They are my uncles because they are far older than me. Some of them, very, very old compared to me. But the truth has to be said. They were not from initially standing on the ground, or I mean on a neutral ground. They were biased in their communications. But still, that is a freedom of expression. We cannot say, then why do you express sympathy in support to this? I was against the war. I was against both Kiir and Riek, and I wrote an article in 2014 and said, these two, even if you give them 20 years, the result will be the same. They'll bring us war. And sure enough, they closed down the Nation Mirror newspaper, where I wrote that paper in it. But in 2016, they fought before even the 20 years I said was lapsed. They stated the truth and said, this is the facts. They were biased because they were frightened. And rightly so, because when Nuer were killed in Juba, the reaction was devastating in Akobo, in Malakal, in Bantu, Pariang, and Bor. Dinka were killed. And they felt this coming in, and the forces of Riek Machar, JBR, who were killing the civilians, were marching to Juba. That might have, out of panic, they might have reacted to say something like, okay, let us stand in defense of identity. But that is in defense of the nation. The defense of the nation was to advocate for the peace, called in after the rebels had been pushed back, a long-lasting solution. A long-lasting solution was to call on these two, as we are calling on it now, to step down, because I know for sure pride has entered into the governance. They have personalized the political matters of South Sudan. Riek sees it at compromise would mean weakness. And Riek and Kate feel the same thing. Trust me, today, if one of them is out, it will not be difficult for other person to get out, because that personalization would lessen. And I don't like to talk about names here. I'm talking about the issues involved in the governance of South Sudan. I would conclude by saying this in this question was at Youngcourt. The Council of Elders were not right in the way they were expressing their issues. Yet they are citizens and they have right to express themselves. the self-expression should not also be taken out of the context. As individuals who are expressing their opinions, just like you and I speaking. They were not elected, they were not representing Dinka as in entirety. The individuals that will come together and say they need to express themselves in the name of Jane, which is not clear. It should not cause anybody to panic. The final decision maker is the President of the Republic of South Sudan, who is Salva Kiir, and his group. We hold anything, every person that ever been killed in South Sudan, every penny that has been stolen from the people of South Sudan, it is squarely on their shoulder, not on the Jane Council of Elders. If we focus so much on the Jane Council of Elders, we will lose attractions, and the solution will be derailed from this. I don't agree with the Jane Council of Elders, neither do I want to have them as my focus.
Thank you.
I welcome the decision because it comes as, it meets this point, the call to remove the two gentlemen who have caused a lot of trouble to the country. Thank you.
Well, Latak, thank you so much. And really thank you again, for, I think, you address a lot of the areas, you touch a lot of the issues here. So with that, I think I want to give you an opportunity, if you can just withdraw, and then later I can bring you back if there is any question or you wanted to weigh in one more time. And now I want to give a chance to Good Wine and to...
Thank you, I'll come in another day.
Yes, no problem.
Another day.
That his perspective as also a good welcome to I think I did it wrong. I want to withdraw you and I withdraw for some reason.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead and send it back. I apologize. I don't want him to just call me that I did this on purpose. I want you to come back and just go ahead and come back. Let's move ahead here. A good wine, please. I apologize one more time. Then I will withdraw Leos as well, and then accidentally, actually, I withdraw you. So go ahead and come back. Go ahead and come back. A good wine. I hope I see you, and then we go ahead here so I can hear your perspective. We still have more to go. More people are coming and to weigh in tonight. Again, I want to remind our viewers we are live in both in YouTube and in Facebook at the same time. If you are down there in Juba, you have a low internet, you can watch actually on Facebook. You can watch on YouTube. So we are live in both in YouTube on Facebook at the same time. So you can log in on Facebook and YouTube, and then you can watch. So I see.
Okay, brother, stop.
Let's move ahead. A good wine. Welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. And you can go ahead, weigh in with your perspective.
In Jaba, Pia Logi, Pia Play.
It's the same. We are still talking,
So do you hear me, right? You hear me?
I hear you very well.
First of all, I want to say hello to you, and I want to say thank you for your invitation, and also I want to greet your, other gentlemen who just left, Wall and others. John Kor, I disagree with a couple of you guys.
Of course, you are going to disagree.
And I know.
I need to go pie because I'm right footed. Because if it's too loud, it's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Malita Vanya Biti Ayan show, in the operation, and then she been sick now. So John Kor, I want to say hello to your audience and you and whoever who has spoken before. Actually, I was around here a while ago. Even I was going to take a nap, but he didn't call me. South Sudan issues are bigger than what you guys are talking about. You live in the past. You understood the situation, Now, I just want to disagree with Wolf with one he said before his last statement about BBCL. BBCL hasn't paid a tax in South Sudan for over 10 years. BBCL is a foreign entity from the nation of Lebanon, and former Secretary General was taking the money.
The link is down there. I already pinned it down. So if you want to click the link, copy the link, paste it, If you have Safari, you can do that. You have Google, go ahead. And then it should give you the option to bring you here. Right now, so far, I don't see anyone in the studio. But I want you also to refresh your device, because if your internet is lower, it's likely to throw you away, or will throw us all away. Just refresh it, and then I can bring you back. Okay.
You know, a poor entity, we did not pay a penny, a pound to the Republic of South Sudan. Then how can you depend that? You know, you're saying that this company was hiring 10,000, and it does not pay a pound for the South Sudan economy itself. That alone could be actually the crime. You know, very soon it will be investigated, and some people will go to prison. Let's talk about JCE. Who are these JCE? JCE are the former JCE. JCE are the former veteran of the Sudan, not South Sudan. They weren't in politics before even you was born, Jonkor. This JCE, they were in politics before you born. They witnessed the split of most of the African countries in their own time. They know the tactics. They know this. You know how you can use a strategy. To make your case. Also JCE, they are not registered organization. They have not registered their organization, or they have not been given authority to represent Jiang. JCE are not the SPLM ruling party. So people should make a separation here. If you want to blame them because they have a political motive. Because they are from the former Sudan, they understood the weakness of the SPLM. They understood the failure of the SPLM party. Because when you do not put your house in order, of course you're gonna have a problem. So yes, JCE, they might have their own political motive that they want to achieve in South Sudan, but they align it with the weakness of the SPLM party, the ruling party, who has now they have been SPLM has now 37 years as the revolutionary movement, and now we split. They have made their history. So let's try to blame JCE in their individual motive as in groups, but people should separate that JCE are not representing the society of Jiang. Let's make very clear. Now, what JCE has done, because they put out a tour, a report 2 months ago, and they denied. Now again, they denied the other one. So what does it mean? It means that these brothers here, this JCE of ours, they are playing a political smart maneuvering. They want to play a game so that that might help South Sudan. Does JCE help South Sudan? And I will say yes, because if there is no JCE, Denka would have retaliated the killing of Jiang, mostly in the Afar region and the Jonglei state, because we have lost thousands of Dinka, but we never spoke about it. We heard about no, hold on,
hang on for a second. There is one very important point that you mentioned. It's a good for the good. If they were retaliate, well, if the JCE cannot tackle the issue of the Dinka killing themselves, what in the world they are going to address the issue facing the Dinka from other communities? Here,
Yonkor in 2013.
Here, Gog and Apuk are dying, Wanjang are dying, Agar is dying. What are you trying to say, my brother?
What I'm saying to tell you is this: in 2013, the magnitude of the war that has erupted in South Sudan, if it wasn't the JCE, based on my knowledge that what I heard, and I know some of them personally, what they have done, they stopped Jiang from making retaliation. Again, the brother will kill. Jongo, 1 second.
The question is, why did JCE did not interfere with the issue of Boherat, Lake State?
Well,
let me finish. Why they did not interfere there when the Dinka were killing themselves in hundreds and hundreds in Warap with a Puk, with a Guak? Okay, why they did not interfere there and say, hey, we got Monjing by yourself, please do not die.
Okay. JCE were not authorized by the Jiang to solve the Jiang problem. Okay, these are a veteran politician. If you look to this JCE, lineup, you will find that Dr. Jongaran was against most of them. If John Garang was alive, none of these people would have stepped their foot in South Sudan.
So you agree they were just playing politics then for their own interest?
Well, these are politicians, and they want to gain, the momentum so they can stick around. And also, at the same time, they have said a couple of things in the past.
So they were using
and it's a record
to achieve their political goal, right?
JCE are not part of the government, and they are not the SPLM party leading power in South Sudan. The blame goes to the SPLM. Why it goes to the SPLM? SPLM party has principles. When they fought the war, their principle was very clear. If the nation they fought for, the unity of Sudan didn't work, so Sudan is split, they're supposed to use the rule of law to punish those who will commit crime or who have committed crime. I'm sure South Sudan would have fixed itself like nothing has happened before. That was the mistake of the SPLM, and I hold SPLM responsible for whatever is happening, not the JCE. Now, if the JCE has wrote the paper I've seen, and they admitted that, they are no longer supporting the government, that's fine. It's okay. We don't want any tribal affiliation in the government. The government is supposed to be the parties, SPLM, other parties who may have interest in the future to rule South Sudan without any affiliation of tribe. I'm against tribe, and I always, say that South Sudan is supposed to have, the Parliament of South Sudan is supposed to have legislation to punish tribe. If you are a Dinka, you are Nuer, and you want to influence the government to do what you want, you belong to prison. You don't belong to this, because you are a danger to the society, because South Sudan does not belong to any tribe.
Let us go to... Kir should go to prison, my brother.
Well, that one...
If that is applicable.
Moses, let me finish. That one, if you want to punish Kir, if you want to bring him to justice, you need to allow him and Dr. Riek Machar to finish the September 12 peace agreement, which was a revitalization of 2015. And what I want you guys to understand is this. There is no other Fidel Castro that will save Africa.
He is not retarded, but he's just, supporting him.
No, there is no Fidel Castro who will support Africa. The only out of Africa candidate to support African countries becoming independent was Fidel Castro. The only non-white that has defeated the white supremacy in the world was Fidel Castro. We don't have it anymore. Now, just let me talk a bit back there. So let me say this, okay? South Sudan eventually it will free from Dr. Riek Machar and President Salva Kiir Mayardit because they have an agreement they have signed. This agreement will expire in 2022 or 2023, and we go to the election. Why the election is good? If you guys are really, understand politics and you understand the African past, politics, election will be good. Baby, relax. Election will be good because we will elect governors. Governors from our own state that we want. Those governors will write their own constitution of the states. Those governors will draft their own militias who will be used as a national army as a contribution to the national government. You will elect members of parliament from the states, and the national one that will go to the to the federal government. Those who are more qualified, they are educated, they are not a Shimanyan Kailwell or Kalam Katir. Those people will set up toward a successful way. Another one, September 12 was an African peace because the revitalization, which was 2015, was important funded. But after it collapsed in 2016, and it was revived again in 2018, it became an African pure. It has none, there's no European, there's no Asian, there's nothing. It was an African, pure African, which actually will be, if it implemented like we are looking now, it will be the first time in the African continent that a black African have brought their peace, implemented it, and become an example. Even we have lost 500 or 400,000 lives, this actually will reward us. It will set South Sudan for peaceful, and we will remove President Salva Kiir Mayardit, Dr. Riek Machar, and replace them for our choices. But
okay.
the best of it is the member of the parliament from the state, and yes.
I want you to weigh in on President Salva Kiir's statement. Let me play it. Maybe you were not.
Before you play it, don't play it. I hear it. I don't.
God, don't run away from that statement. I really want to hear your view.
doro jai lo man tamchi de chalu ana ma bamchi le kumtani wala bayi na ye committee shan yamchi le manjiga bata chakala de shwaya jai bitaida ana bajibu jambi na gardon nafsi be jai dawal bolis kuna shubi kum beji malwen ay zol al batrudu bade ninu yajri ya ubeji ni da. So I have decided that ay shakala tani ma bodi fo wala askari wala bolis makalikum da chakal lakad ma one section yajri manatani lo man tajri man zol kan bu chakal ma وتجي هنا ده أنا بجي بساعدك أنا بدافع عنك وبعدها ما تتكلم تاني كراجل.
Your reaction. This is the
support. I have two things. My brother. I disagree with the statement. I condemn it to the fullest. Okay. Number one, when you are a leader, you can hold in your grievance in your heart. You can write them in a memoir. Then later on, it will become a book. So people will read what you were going through. That is how things work. Number two, the statement he said, people can use it and go as a justification. They can go and kill themselves and say the president will upset this. Those are very, very, very dangerous and very damaging to his, whatever he has done. This one actually can damage his legacy. Was President Kiir was correct on that? The answer, it would have been correct if he was in secrecy. If he was sitting with his friend, he was hanging around, you can talk like that without a camera, with no record. So that would have been better for him. But he's speaking in public, I disagree with him. It doesn't matter whether I support him or not, but that statement is wrong, cannot be accepted. And I wish the leadership can come out and apologize to the people of South Sudan. Because no leader can say like that.
How he has been governing the country, the way he's talking. This is how he's been governing the country.
Brother, why do Americans was angry with Trump? Because the way Trump speaks. The same thing cannot, President Kiir cannot be an innocent on it. President Kiir made that statement is not correct. I know he was right in his heart. If he's saying this to me and you and Moses here, under darkness as a secret, and later on after 20 years, someone can come up and write a book and mention that Salva Kiir was going through this. Does the Upper Nile cause trouble? The problem is in Upper Nile.
So
this problem must be destroyed using the rule of law.
With that question,
yes.
With that statement, President Kiir have raised his hand to take oath on July 9, 2011, that they will protect the integrity of South Sudan and sovereignty and citizen and property. Now he's saying that go and kill yourself. I don't care. I don't give a damn about you. Now, with all this Kiir has done, including this one, are you still supporting President Kiir? It's not a laughable matter. It's not a laughable
matter.
That is a good question,
Jongor. I think sometimes it's good to give people credit for for something. Salva Kiir, up to the death of the late Dr. Jongarang, the issues he faced with the NFNCP Muslim Brotherhood, they were on our neck until even today. I want to answer you. He went through a hell. If it wasn't him and it was someone like me, a reaction like me, I would have slaughtered hundreds of thousands of these politicians. Salva Kiir has been patient, and actually he's right in this. If we go deeply to what he was saying, those people from those regions are actually the one who are fueling the fire, so that South Sudan can be returned back to them to be the leader, because they don't want Salva Kiir from the Barakazal to be the leader. That's what actually has been happening. So, do I still support him? I believe in that SPLM party, because I want that SPLM party to dismantle those in Khartoum. When I see those who have killed us, and I disagree with many people who are saying that Jalam did not kill us, Jalam has burned us. As a Halian, fi abiyar mawjud fi wadwula Jonkor.
Answer my I did not answer you about
support. Fi abiyar mawjud fi awil, fi waw, fi malakal, uliz ma hafarnom. The Malian judgment Junubin. Do I support SPLM? I want that. I support.
I did not ask SPLM question. I said with all this Kiir has done, and now with this statement that go and kill yourself, hang yourself.
I am not. We condemn the statement. I condemn the statement, but I still support the government is leading, because he's the chairman of the SPLM. And if I don't support him, and then I'm not someone that, so I support the SPLM, but I condemn President Salva Kiir with this statement. And I wish people who are watching from the government, they can come and they can tell them, my president, this was a mistake, make a condemnation. When you condemn it, it doesn't mean that you are wrong, but that's the way you have to tell the people that I made a mistake, I made something wrong, because he's a human being. You know, Salva Kiir actually is a very strong person. Al-Hajjad who got and Maravodo is the kind of Wahatan Zain or brother. Can was that valve is rolled that.
Listen, all the BS, my brother. Anna,
this is all going.
Listen, I'm younger than him. I'm in my early 40s, okay? I'll be 43 soon.
When you was reporting, you were even born.
I will not behave certain way, and I will take this country from this mess to a better place. I cannot say that I'm perfect, but I will not act like that.
Youngwood, I want to promise you. I want to promise you.
Don't make it me and that guy.
I want to promise my brother. South Sudan, even if I die and you died and my brother here is gone too, South Sudan will be the example of the African difficulties. South Sudan will be, it will leave behind a history. South Sudan will save Africa. South Sudan, it will save Africa, because there's a time is coming, the time of unity of Junubin. They should understand that when we are locked in this very challenging, the only solution is to unite, because these politicians, they are using our division. If we unite Junubin without mentioning Gabalia, Salva Kiir Bishilu Barab Benahar. I don't believe in the uprising, because why the uprising is not good? Because we are not united. How can you going to be able to uprise? It was in addition to that, Salva Kiir who feel Halian in the government because of the agreement. If you overthrow him out, you take him out, and then what have you done? You bring us back to zero. Let him stay there with Duterte Machar until their PP they have signed expire, so they will be kicked out in the election, and that will set a good example for South Sudan. Then we become the 10 times Somalia. If we want to stop people like Museveni.
Here will
someone who's bullying us. Someone who's bullying.
I would like to.
We want to stop people like Museveni. Someone who is bullying us. What Museveni have said, people have no. It was called bullying. When you're a leader, there are agreements that countries make. You know, you need to respect the diplomacy. You cannot just come out and speak publicly about another country, even if you protect them. Did Museveni support us? The answer is yes. In 1995, if it wasn't the Museveni, when we were pushed to the ISO, you and I and this and Muslim would have been not talking about here. Did Museveni support us in 2013? Yes, it was an agreement that was signed by Duterte Machar in 2008, a military agreement. If South Sudan is attacked, Uganda is attacked. The same thing to South Sudan. Yes, he was the only leader who landed in Bor, and so South Sudan leader didn't go, which actually is quite embarrassing, you know. But he has no right to bullying us. He cannot bullying us, you know.
Okay,
that is no right, and we want
let me add a point.
To tell Uganda, don't do this again. So
Moses want to say something to you.
So Moses will come. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Moses want to say something to you.
Yes.
Go ahead, Moses.
Thank you again, Ustad Jonkor, and I thanks all the viewers. I would like just to say a few points to you, my brother, Aguat Wayne.
Agun wine.
All right.
Agun wine. Wine. Wine.
Okay. We are not going to debate on the names. It is your name, and you know it better than me. Sorry if I.
No, I just want to correct next time. Call me in a morning. Pure morning.
It's all right. It's all right. But I'm not going to discuss the issue of name. That's not the issue. I made a mistake, and I'm sorry for that. It is your name. You can call it better than me. Yes, Aguat. This is my message to you and all the government supporters. The Stone Age did not end because of shortages of stone in the world. There is nowhere you live in the Western world and most of the government supporters, we can blame those in the village that are supporting the government. Maybe you can say they are not educated, they are illiterate. But to an intellectual person like you, supporting President Kiir after all he has done in 16 years, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Completely, what you really need to think twice about your political stance.
Can I respond to that? Can I respond to that before Yonkor? Yes, let me respond. Yonkor.
Yeah, let me go ahead.
Let me finish. I'll give you a chance.
Yes.
Let him come by Moses.
Yes. So and I jumped on Ali after I ping in a morning will.
No, yeah, ping.
But Yonkor can actually hear me. Hear me.
Not me, but Yonkor hear it.
The world is moving away from violence, conflicts. Any political movement in the world, if you want to bring change, whether African Union or the Western world, any movement that is through violence is not acceptable. So the best method to change President Kiir is political uprising, peaceful means. Because okay? By violence is not going to work. And the more we do it, the more Kiir will stay in power. And that's what Yonkor has been telling everybody here. That President Kiir, he wants people to continue to fight each other. So there would be no election forever. His last statement is a last kick of a dying horse politically. That every tribe, you tribes fight each other. Bor kill Morle, Morle kill Nuer Law kill Bor people. That is hate speech.
Bring me the case.
There is no other definition of hate speech. So your president want the South Sudanese to kill themselves, while he still claims that he's a president and you are supporting him. This does not make any sense. Does not make any logic. So that's what I can say to finish my point. Ignorance of the law. Let me finish my point. Ignorance of the law is not a defense. You could be a student of law. I'm economist, but I've done some law units. Ignorance of the law is not a defense. Legally, President Kiir is responsible. All the crimes, all the genocide, all the killing, all the looting, as Wall as said, he is the one that is responsible. Full stop. Whether you support him, is at the end of the day is the one that is responsible based on the constitution and the law of the country. So we are not going to waste our time to condemn Young Council. Yes, we have said we disagree with them. They have added fuel to the crisis at some point. But at this point, if somebody has repent and say, I've realized I was going in the wrong direction, I have to support the people, not the government anymore. We accept that. And we are saying that Young Council of Elders, I want them to stand with their statement. By their statement, they should not run away from that again. Otherwise, people will continue to have that wrong perception about Young Council of Elders. They have to stand with the people, support the resolution of the national dialogue that say Kiir must step down. He has to step down. If Kiir steps down, South Sudan is not going to disappear from the map. People like you think that if Kiir is out of power, then Dinka will be killed. Who is going to kill Dinka? That's a lie. Nobody is going to kill Dinka. People are dying now more than even before, during the 21 years war. Dinka now are being killed more every day, and Kiir is there. And now he's telling other Dinkas to kill themselves or to kill other tribes.
Well, Moses, and now now I'm here 46 Fisher, I'm 46 years old. You know, so are you
saying you are older than? Are you saying you are older than me 3 years ago?
I don't think I will have a time to switch parties. 37 years in the liberation struggle. 37 years of that spelling party. The only party في غار الإفريقية. العمل الإنجازات في غارة وفي العالم كله وحركة شعبية.
What injazat are you talking about? Huh?
The problem is here. The problem.
What achievement? What did they achieve?
John Moses. Fizul قال شنو زمان. فيزول قال شنو في خرطوم. قال حركة الشعبية قالت انتوا قاعد كوركانو ده قال نحن زمان نكون أساس بتاعه. أساس علينا زول قاعد في حكومة في big position. What happened? Salva Kiir, Dr. Yang Machar, Pagan Amum, and the rest of that SPLM after the demise of Dr. John Garang. The rest did not follow what the INFNCP Muslim Brotherhood have said. As INFNCP, they planned it very well. That Ginubindol, we will be able to implement, to inflict division with Sudan by the Guruj, the Nuswan, the Kula Haja. They have done it. They have done it already. So what if we say that Salva Kiir has to step down today as we speak? Then what have you done? Are you not happy that the peace now is still hanging? It was an African peace. It was this army of Frere. Zema gal dali kamboni. Gal African by Africans. Al-Zol al-Wahid al-Jafi Agar al-Frege able to revive Christianity. You know, Africa by Africans. The September 12 was an African peace. We want it to end that way. The peace implementation will happen. And after the expiration of the peace agreement, Rais Salva Kiir Mayardit, Dr. Machar, they will be going to the election, and that will be the time you and I will try to do our best to replace governors. We want governors, elected governors, members of the parliament, from the state to the national level, because we need Qanun. Then what are the important elements to be done? Food insecurity, education as a military from a poor to the rich. Munfagir l'ghaniyan. Medical, research. We must invent. Lazim namal invention to University Sudan if we want to end all this, al-mashagar wahya al-balad. We will not have another Salva Kiir in the future. But we have to give him a credit. 40 years in the liberation struggle. Ajama, when you are in war, you're mentally, you are affected. So these leaders actually, they are strong. Otherwise, they would have been now in mental hospital. So we need to give them, say thank you. But we want to take them out in a peaceful means. Do I want Salva Kiir to come next? I would say no. But if we get elected by people, I don't think that the governors will be under him. We will secure governors. We want another Wayin, another active.
I think Agan said a very correct statement. He said, listen, he said President Kiir believe in extension, not in election.
No,
that's
so
the idea that you are saying that we're going to move him through the election, there will be no election.
Brother, I disagree with Agan. My nephew, I disagree with you. In 2015, if the war did not erupt, South Sudan would have won to the election. And I won't blame you. You're saying that 15 years. We have only 6 years of the interim period. 6 years of the interim period. And then we have 2 years of the independent. And South Sudan was
15 years since Kiir is in
15 years.
South Sudan.
You need to know the 6 years of the interim period. And where are they now? Where is Fantown now? Where is Fernaz now? Before we become independent, Khartoum has violated our sovereignty.
Okay, go ahead and finish.
Just wait. Why will never be behind? Why? Because Khartoum was working very hard to destroy us.
You are contradicting yourself, my brother.
No, there's no contradiction.
Because
why we
are
have
talking
62%? No, Maria, Moses. Why do we have 62% of the army of Nahas, Sudan, which resulted into this 2013 because of what? Military job more than 50,000 war. Riamosher came to Jesh when he returned to SPLA in 2002. His army was not integrated until the Garang death. That will become a threat to South Sudan. Khartoum has played his game very well. The Middle East has played their game very well. And now South Sudan is where? We are at the brink of total integration. We must unite. we must support the September 12 peace agreement as a revitalization, and that actually will give a chance to South Sudan. We here, Deng Ayok did this here, and Moses and you, that we want. But we cannot have South Sudan of uprising. Uprising from where? And where Garden is they want to retaliate. They want to kill more. Nasiluk Darino, or Equatorial is split. You will have no South Sudan, my brother. If you read the history of Africa, South Sudan is the richest continent after Congo Democratic Republic. What happened to Patrice Lumumba? It was assassinated. By who? By the United Nations. The United Nations that I heard by all of you all the time. South Sudan should be placed under the United Nations trusteeship. What? Are you what? What is the United Nations? At this time, coronavirus has changed the world for good. The United Nations will be dismantled, or Africa will have 2 members of the veto power in the UN and Latin America. That's what we are looking for. South Sudan peace agreement was an African, it will be implemented. We have to push the government to make sure that this peace, it has to be done. If it is done, half is done, we have to go to the election because we want to change them. We want to take South Sudan. We must to deal with the radicalism of the Islamic fundamentalists in the Sudan. That's our game, my brothers. So please,
my brother, you are taking us out of.
That's the point. That's what you need to know. Self-care is not your problem. The problem is us. We are dividing ourselves based on the tribe, and that is what Riek Machar or Self-care are using as a justification. The statement I said to you before, I disagree with the statement. I condemn it to the fullest. We want the government to come back and reiterate this statement. Say that this statement was wrong because he's our leader. He represents South Sudan. When he says something like that, people will use it as an excuses and they will kill people. And later on, the ICC, which now is not disappeared, will come back later on. We don't want that. We want South Sudan to be for all. No, don't support such thing like that. It's not good.
Jonko, they should
so with this, I want to go with this. I want to say to Deng Ayok, you just came, my brother. I want to throw my words. Some of them are good. Some of them are not fit you guys, imagination. Jonko, you made a leak. You said you want DC to go and lobby for the for removal of the government of South Sudan. That actually is a leak. You have leaked something, my brother. South Sudan government will not be removed by the foreign power. There's no even now. America of that is dealing with its own problem. The aftermath of Donald Trump is a big problem, Jack. So let's try to unite. If you are in the opposition, talk to your opposition to unite. If you unite the opposition, government of South Sudan might be able to go left and listen to you. So with this, may God the Creator bless the Republic of South Sudan and peace be to all. Thank you.
Good, thank you so much. And I want you to listen to your heart. He withdrew himself right away. I don't know why. He should have.
Yeah, he has taken a lot of time. And so, he has expressed his point of view.
I hope God will listen to his heart, and know what it takes for this country to move forward. That's the only thing that I can say to my brother. Good. But anyway, I thank him for coming on and adding his perspective. Ustaz Deng Ayok, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. It's good to see you, dear brother. And we continue the discussion. It's so important. I will give you that chance.
Yes.
To go ahead, my brother. And then
I greet you. Thank you, Jonkor. I will just say a few points and leave my brother Dengdit to add his perspective on what the government supporters are saying. Look, it is so funny to see people living in the Western world. They're enjoying good education, health, security, peace, and they don't want their brothers and sisters in South Sudan to enjoy the same thing they are enjoying in America, in Australia, in Canada. It is so sad. First of all, I disagree with my brother God in terms of thinking that election will change political things in South Sudan. It will not. I am not a student of history, but if you look at the history of all liberation movements and all authoritarian governments or dictatorship, like what has just happened in Uganda, is that the kind of election that Agwad is talking about? The Yoweri Museveni style of election of ruling for 35 years plus. So if Agwad is believing that election done in Juba will bring political change in South Sudan, that's too shallow thinking, and it will not. And we know in the last election, the election was stolen. For example, I keep saying this. We all know that Georgia Torres won. But President Kiir won his people, won Kwalmanyang to be the governor. We know Malunga one has lost. We know Taban has lost election. Angelina Teng, the wife of first vice president, won the election. But President Kiir interfered and say no, Taban must come. So this is not election, and all authoritarian government. Election does not work in dictatorship and authoritarian governments. It will not happen. It will be rigged, it will be stolen. And if they don't win, they will create war. So the best solution is political uprising that you are rejecting. That's the most civilized way. It does work in all the countries that we have seen, from Arab Spring to all the changes, political changes that have happened in Egypt and in Sudan. The NCP, National Congress Party, has been removed through popular uprising. So don't come here and tell us it will not work. If it works in Egypt, it will work in South Sudan, and it can work better than violence. We don't need to kill each other anymore because we have a country, and we talked with that last week with the Dengdit. We have the country. We don't need to kill each other anymore. That's why we need peaceful means of changing Salva Kiir and Dr. Riek. That's the only option we have. We need to protest. Protesting is not killing people. We need to protest, and Kiir will go. It will go. Riek Machar will go. And the people will appoint their own people. Any election after Kiir and Riek Machar are outside of the political equation would be credible. Any election under these people, it will not be a credible election. It will not be free. It will not be fair. People will be intimidated, and it will be stolen. So we are not living in the Stone Age. That's why I told my brother, the Stone Age did not end because of shortages of stone in the world. The Stone Age ended by people enlightening their citizens, telling the truth that this government of President Kiir has failed, full stop. There is no way you can defend a failed government that has created division among the citizens. The social fabric has been destroyed by the government policies, and divide and rule. They have created wars in Equatoria. They are killing Nuer. They are killing Dinka. They don't care. They are killing everybody, and they are looting the public resources. So, having said that, we don't hope him to be killed, or we don't want Riek to be killed. We want them to be punished by law. We want them to be taken to the court. They have to go to the prison. That's the best punishment for them. We don't come here to advocate for them to be killed. And that's what I can say. I will give the chance to my brother. We've been talking a lot, and we agree that Young Council of Elders, they have done a great decision to stay away from politics of South Sudan. That is good. I hope they will keep that, to stay away from politics of South Sudan. Let President Kiir fail alone, and he is the one legally liable to be asked, to be questioned about all the crimes and the atrocities, the human rights violations, and the stolen public money of the people of South Sudan. And thank you. And I greet all the viewers, and our struggle continue. Kiir must go. He must go since 2013, not now. Thank you.
Ustaz Moses, thank you so much, for coming in and adding a great perspective always. And with that, I welcome Ustaz Dengdit Ayok also to join us, and we move on from here and address these very important issues. The Young Council of Elders, a statement that they have released, and very important question that was asked on this. I am going to remind our viewers about this topic again. The JCE takes U-turns against the government and support the National Dialogue Resolution. What is behind this sudden move? Ustaz Dengdit Ayok, one more time, I welcome you, and the discussion will continue. I want to give you an opportunity to go ahead and brief us with this statement. But if you don't mind, I can go ahead and play audio for the statement of President Salva Kiir, which is a shameful statement that shocked all the nations. So let me go ahead and play that so you can start with.
Thank you. I hope I'm heard.
Yeah, you are very clear.
Thank you.
Let me do this. I'm sorry. The volume is down, but I'm going to do this now.
Chalu, ana mabam doro jai. Lomantam chi de chalu, ana mabam chi le kumtane. Wala bayi na ye committee chanyam chi le mantiga betat chakala de. Shwaya jai betaida, ana baji bujambi. Nagardo nafsi beji de wal police kuna shubi kumbeji manuel. Ay zona al baturudu bade nenu yejiri ya ubeji ni hineda. So I have decided that ay chakala tane. ما بودي فوق ولا عسكري ولا بوليس بخليكم تشاكل لكاد ما 1 second يجري من تاني لو من تجري من زول كان بيشاكل معك وتجي هنا ده انا بيجي بساعدك انا بدافع عنك وبعدك ما تتكلم تاني كراجل
Ustaz Dengit, one more time, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. I want you to state with that statement. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Jonkor, for having me in the show tonight. I would like to appreciate the speakers that have spoken before me. I would like to appreciate and commend Mading Menyel, Walding Attack, Winde Marial, James Agustino, Moses Makerkin-Jok, and Mr. Abod Wine for the great work they have done. And I am here only to add my voice to what they have said. And I would like to also appreciate our viewers for tuning in tonight to follow the great issues, the great national issues that we are discussing here. I would like to appreciate those who are making comment under the video, whether they disagree with us or agree with us. We appreciate them. They are also our heroes, and they are here for the cause of the nation. Those comments are in favor of the cause of our nation. And I would also like to appreciate all the viewers who are following us since the last 4 hours, and I think we are now going to the 5th hour, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we are.
I appreciate them. Well, coming back to the statement made by the president, I think Moses Adward has described this statement in a very simple but eloquent manner. He described the statement as a license given by the president to the citizens to carry out genocides against themselves in Jonglei state and all over South Sudan. And politically, it is an indication that this president is just a president by having the title of a president, but he is not a president because he is actually indeed a president for the people of South Sudan. Why do I say this? I say this because the president cannot incite violence among his own people, because the president, according to the constitution, is to provide security and to protect the integrity, the territorial integrity of the citizens of the Republic of South Sudan. But all what President said in that statement is not surprising to me, because we already know that this president is a failed president, he's a failed leader. Although he has a very good legacy of being a liberator and contributing a great deal during the war, but he has proven to the people of South Sudan and to the entire civilized world that he is a failed leader. There is no doubt about that. So what we want to say to our people is that they should not listen to him. This statement is misleading, and it is not supposed to be a statement that is uttered by the head of the state. It is completely unacceptable, and it is like releasing venom of violence into the veins of the people who are supposed to be living in peace and enjoying stability, security, and tranquility in their country. So this is what I can say about this statement. And the people of South Sudan, I believe, are a good judge. They will judge Mr. President based on this statement. So thank you. So that's what I can say about this statement.
Thank you, Sadengir Ayok. Today's topic, as you can see it there, we are addressing the press release by the Jiang Council of Elders, which is actually one of their members also had an interview last night with Matiang Shirillo, the journalist of Rais Tahrir Jarit al-Mawqif. And it didn't take that long for him, and he denied the statement. He said that we did not. It's like the same scenario, what had happened before in 2020, December 22nd, when we discussed the final report of National Dialogue. And then all of a sudden they came out and did a press conference and they denied the document. And later, a month later, we also discussed another document, and then they went numb. I haven't heard anything from them, which is mean that actually is a true document, what we have been discussing. Now, Dr. Aldo Ayodeng is denying this statement. At the same time, he has that press release on his Facebook page. I did check actually, and it's still there. So I'm wondering, why are they keep denying every time? Anyway, topic of tonight, the Jiang Council of Elders take a U-turn against the government and support the National Dialogue Resolution. And the question is, what is behind this sudden move? That's the very important question of tonight. We want to get to the bottom. Please, I give you the podium.
Thank you. Let me begin with the denial of the document. We saw the interview in Al-Mawqif Arabic daily newspaper in Juba. Dr. Aldo Ayodeng Akwe was interviewed by a journalist and editor-in-chief of Al-Mawqif daily newspaper, Mr. Matiang Shirillo Yel Kwad Mayer. And the interview is not yet published. It's not fully. The full text of the interview is not yet published. What we saw was just like an advertisement.
Headlines, yeah.
Of an advertisement of what he said, or partial thing he said in the interview. But as we wait for the full text of the interview on Monday, we will be able to judge very well what he said. But what I saw there, he said that this paper is not ours. And it is not clear which paper does he actually means, because Aldo Ayo is wearing two hats, Mr. Jonkor. He's wearing the hat of the National Dialogue, and he's wearing another hat of the Jiang Council of Elders. So what I can say here is that he was interviewed in his capacity as the spokesperson of the Jiang Council of the Elders. And I guess he might have been asked about the paper that is out. And then he made a short statement of denial in which he said, this paper is not ours. Al-Waragadi Mahagadna. That's what he said. Now, my comment is this. But before I make the comment, let me connect what I want to say with what you have just said. I visited his page actually on Facebook. And I saw the statement, and this is what he wrote. He was actually marketing the document on his Facebook page. He said, the press release is here for those who want to read it and comment. That's what he wrote. He's telling the public that the press release is here for those who want to read it and comment. And I saw a lot of comments there. So what is he doing? He is like selling out the content of the document on his Facebook page to whoever will be visiting his page. All right? So this one is like a contradiction. It is like a contradiction when he says that the document is not ours, and at the same time he's selling out the document on his Facebook page. So there is a contradiction here.
Right.
But as I said, we will be able to fully judge him once the text of the interview is out on Monday. I think it is going to be part 1 and part 2. So the document is their document. This is an old game.
Yeah.
You remember that when the National Dialogue Steering Committee issued the final report. And then we discussed it here on this forum. They came out. William Moulton came out and denied it. Simon Kunpoit came out and also denied it. Another elder, I don't remember his name, also was reading a statement on television denying that the National Dialogue did not write such a statement. So it is a game. Finally, when the covering notes was out, and then we brought it here to the forum and we discussed it, explained it to our people, they did not say anything until this very moment. And the contents of the covering notes with the contents of the final report, the first final report, was actually the same. So what are they doing here? They're actually playing game. They're trying to fool the public, but they won't fool us. Yeah. Never. They will never succeed. They will try, but they will not. The people of South Sudan are not foolish. They know everything. The people of South Sudan knows the things they are doing, whether in darkness or in the daylight. We know what they are doing. And we know everything. We can count. Then we can count how much hair do they have in their heads. They shouldn't play with us. We know. So this is what I can say about the document. It is a game. It is an old game that these elders are trying to play. But the document is verified. It is real. It is authentic. It was written by them.
And it was signed.
And it was signed. And Aldo Ajo was one of the people who actually signed the document. It was signed by I think there were 5.
Yeah.
I have the document here and their names are here. The document was signed by,
I have the signature too.
It was signed by number 1, the chairman of the council, Honorable Joshua Dow Dew.
Yeah.
That's number 1. And then signed by Charles Majang Dow, the co-chair of the council. It was also signed by Makir Thiong Mal, member, Aldo Ajo Deng himself, member, and Daniel Dew Matwet, member. And all their signatures are there. All the signatures are there, so they cannot deny this. And that's why I say it is not clear whether Aldo Ajo actually meant this document or the national dialogue document. But we will be able to judge him correctly when the interview is fully published on Monday.
Okay.
And I will share it with you.
Correct.
And with everyone, so that they can judge. Now, I think we should go forward to discuss the content of the document.
Yeah, but Ustaz Dengdir Ayok, I have a gentleman here. He always come at the last minute. And I don't know, I always want to give him an opportunity to speak. But some people, sometimes they wait until the last minute, and then when the time is over, and then they said, oh, I was not giving an opportunity because I'm a government supporter. So if you may just excuse me, I want to give him a chance, to weigh in. And let's hear from him, and then I will let you continue. Do you mind?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let me go ahead and see where he is, and I can bring him. Then we can hear from him. I hope his network will cooperate. So that's the problem, though. Can you turn on the light, Santino Majur? Can you turn on the light?
It is daylight now to us.
But we don't see you. That's the problem. We need to be able to see you. Who is talking to us?
Did you see me now?
It's so blurry. It's so blurry at all.
Please, Jonkur, tell him to sit down, and let him settle his camera and speak.
Yeah, that's
straightforward.
That's what we want.
Because he's standing and he's moving, as we can see.
Hi, brother Jonkur.
Can you be in the center of the camera? Be in the center of the camera, because we want to see you who is talking to us. And you said it's the daylight. If it's the daylight, and then you should be clear. I can. So I don't know.
Okay, let me go inside. Did you see me now?
Yeah, I see you. I just want you to move. Yes. Be in the center of camera so we can see you correctly. Yeah. We are seeing
you
face up.
شكرا أستاذ دينجد.
تفضل.
أو أستاذ جونكور. أنا بتكلم في شيئين نقطتين أنا ليه.
اتفضل.
نقطتين هو حديث بتاع رئيس الجمهورية سلفا كير أن تدخل الأجنبي. أنا بنقوله. نحن شعب الجنوب نحن سائرين ما نايمين عارفين التالة والكاشة. لو نحن نتحدث عن التدخل الأجنبي، كيف أنتم تشوفوا الصومال حتى الآن من الأجنبي كاشة في الصومال؟ هل الصومال في حالة جيدة أو لا؟ نمشي في رواندا، هل رواندا حتى الآن كويس أو لا؟ نحن بنرفض التدخل الأجنبي. مشكلة بتاع الشعب الجنوب حال طريقة الشعب الجنوب هم شايفينه. إذا كان في سلام في الدولة الناس تدخل يتكابر ويجيب الزول ممكن يقود العناية الجنوب. لكن إذا كان نحن بناكل بعضنا ونقول لا ده ما كويس، حتى جزء من الناس لقى المية من المحكومة بتاع الكير هو بيجيب بدل الكير. أننا قاعدين في برا ده ما شايفين الكير ولا نعرف جروج بتاع الكير. بعد أننا بنتكلم ونشوف البيجي بالمستقبل بتاع الدينكا، البيجي الدينكا. دينكا يبني تجونكور وأنا لقيتك أنت ليلة واقتة كاتبين زولتان أنا بجيب معك because أنت الدم بتاعي. سيب السلطة ده ما حاجة. سلطة ده ما حاجة. الأكل ده ما حاجة. لكن القبيلة والدولة عقدنا. بعد أن نتكلم نوعي الناس بطريقة سلام وسلام تجي والناس يكون في انتخابات. ونحن نشوف المونو ابن وطن البقدر بيكون الشعب للأمام. When he said نحن بناكل بعضنا. أنا disagree with you guys for that. أنا ما في صدر السودان، أنا في دول الجوار كمان بيكم. أنا في إسرائيل. ولكن بنرفض تدخل الأجنبي في بلدنا. بنرفض طريق الأونو في بلدنا. تعبنا من الحرب يعود جاب الناس بقى وايل بقى بقتل بعضهم. إذا زول بيشجع الكلام ده نحن بنرفض في الكلام ده. وشكرا.
Thank you. أنا بخلي أستاذ دينجي بعد شوي يرد عليك، لكن أنت بديت أنت قلت يا أخي أنا داير أقول كلام في statement بتاع الرئيس.
أوكي. الكلام بتاع الحديث بتاع كير. الحديث بتاع الكير. هو بطل وما بطل. ليه أنا بقول ما بطل؟ إذا قال الليلة أنتم بتشجعوا الحرب بين القبيلة مع القبيلة، تمورة تقول له قال يا حقيقه، تمورة ممكن يعمل ناس حرب تاني، بعد بكرة يعمل حرب تاني. أنت بتقول شنو إذا كانت رئيس الجمهورية؟ أنت براك عدي دينجي دان جامكو. إذا الناس بيشاكل الليلة تمورة تمشي له تسالهم، بكرة يمشي بالحرب، بعد بكرة يمشي بالحرب تسالهم. أنت تقول شنو؟ كناية.
أنا بجاوبك دينجي ده يديك الإجابة شوي. طبعا يا brother Santino Majur, I know you support the government and nothing wrong with that. وفي حاجات كثير أنت قلت قبل إنه we are brothers in the country and we are brothers in tribe. I understand. I got the point. زول لما نكون رئيس الدولة أنت بتحلف. ملي كوين right? I assume من منجا right? So أنت بتدي أعداء القسم، وأعداء القسم ده في حاجات أنت بتقوله إنه البلد ده أنا بيحمي الدستور، أنا بيحمي المواطن، أنا بيحمي الممتلكات. أنت وجهت لي سؤال، أنت قلت يا أخي الناس قاعدين يشاغلوا كل يوم، أنت هتعمل شنو؟
كلام كلام.
أنا I am a father. I have children. And if my children are fighting, I have to find a common ground, common purposes. عشان هي المشكلة بتاعهم ده. That's what I will do. I will never surrender لمشاكل اللي بواجه أطفال بتاعي كأب كرئيس. أنا حلفت وما في زول بيجبرني. أنا لو حلفت لحاجة وأنا حاجة ده ما قادر عليه وبقى في too much, which is I don't see any something really too much, أنا بطلع يديني منه. لو أنا ما قادر لأنه أساسا هو مسؤولية. الليلة دي أنت بتشيل مسؤولية. أنت بتيجي شغل كل يوم، بتشتغل لازم في أستراليا هناك. You sign a contract. I will do this and I will do this on time. If you cannot handle it, hey, you know what? You talk to supervisor or the manager. You know I cannot handle it anymore because this is too much for me. لكن أنت ما بتقول يا ولد يا أخي شاكل يا قدير شاكل ودير يموت. When the responsibility؟ أين المسؤولية؟ لأن أنت حلفت قدام ناس وقدام ربنا، وأنت ولدت إياه وأنت يا مسؤول بهم كأب، لكن كدولة أنت رفعت يدك عملت القسم. So if I cannot handle the situation في شغل بتاعي, I will quit and find an easy job for me. That's what I would do. So أنت قلت ده كلام كويس، كلام اللي قاله الرئيس ده يعني زي ما أنت قلت.
أوكي. أنا بقول أنا بقول هو كويس وما كويس. ليه أنا بقول كويس؟
مجور ما هو لازم.
أنا بقول لك.
أنا داير أقول
الكلام ده. الكيلو قال الكلام ده مو عشان هو المقصود. نو ما مقصود. هو زعلان عشان الناس بيشاكل كل يوم، وإذا كانوا بيشاكل كل يوم بيشوف إنه طريقة الحرب هو كويس فهو بيشاكلوا. لكن إذا شاف إنه الحرب هو بيجيب كسورة والنقص للناس وما يكلوا، مو عشان هو بكره الناس زين. نو إذا أنا بكتيلا حاجة سيمبلي ما ممكن أكون في السوشيال ميديا أنا أتكلم به، هو يتكلم به بعدين نشوفه هل صحيح كلامه هو قاله ده هيستمر فيه نفسه الناس بيقول ده قاعد يمشي شاكل ده ما ده ناسه اللي انت بترضى انه الكلام ده هيكون حقيقه ما حقيقه بعد هو داير يوجه عشان الحرب ده ما كويس على حسب انا بشوفه انه الناس بيشاكل بعضهم كل يوم ده هو ما كويس اذا هم بيشوفوا الحرب هو كويس بيناتهم فهم يمشي يشاكلوا لكن هو ما دايره انتم تفسروا يا جماعه بطريقه ثانيه مو عشان انتم تشيل حاجه نحن نشيل حاجه كام ونكتو هو قال زياده لا
ده كلام له قالوا
يس
اوكي مجور انا عندي next question to do انت كلام اللي بيقولوه كويس كلام ده كويس ولا ما كويس ما صح ما هو اساسا انت ايات تقول كلام ده كويس ايا كلام ده ما كويس لكن
هو كلام ده كويس انا بقول كلام ده كويس because هو زعلان من الناس زين ليه الناس يشاكلوا بعضهم كل يوم
اوكي ثانك يو استاذ دنجديت what is your response
ما يعرفوهم نحن نقول ان الناس
ده ردي استاذ برضه يا سيدنا
اوكي
استاذ دنجديت ريسبوند بتاعك شنو
اول حاجه بنحترم الاخ سانتينو ماجور وبنسلم عليه وبنرد للنقطتين هو يتكلم في حاجتين النقطه الاولى بيتكلم عن حاجه اسمه التدخل الاجنبي ده حسب كلامه
يس
انا ما فهمت بالضبط هو قاصد شنو
بالتدخل
الاجنبي نحن بنتكلم عن تغيير بتاع النظام في بلدنا ونحن بندعو لهذا التغيير بإرادة شعبية وطنية نحن لا نستعين بأي قوى أجنبية في مسألة بتاع التغيير ولذلك حديثه حول التدخل الأجنبي يعني ده حديث هنا مبهم ما واضح هو قاصد شنو ف يعني إلا هو يفسر أكثر لأنه بس هو يعني خدت الكلام كده وهو ما وضح يعني هو بيقصد شنو ده فيما يتعلق بالنقطة الأول. النقطة الثانية يعني طرح سؤال حول المسألة حول الخطاب بتاع الرئيس في مؤتمر السلام في جونجلي اللي حصل يوم كان يوم 27 ولا يوم 28 في جونجلي
تقريبا كده يعني.
وهو قاعد يسأل سؤال سانتينو ماجور قاعد يقول ماذا تقول للمواطنين إذا كانوا يتقاتلون ويقاتلون بعضهم بعض وتقوم بمحاولات الصلح ولا يقبلون السلام ماذا تقول لهم؟ أنا أفتكر جونكور أنت جاوبت بطريقة كويس لكن خلينا أنا أضيف برضو كلام لكلامك. سانتينو ماجور أرجو إنك بتسمعني كويس.
بيسمعك.
المواطنين لو بيقتلوا بعضهم وبيتعمل لهم صلح ويرجعوا تاني يتقاتلوا وتصالحهم ويرجعوا يتقاتلوا حتى لو وصل للمرة الألف أنت كرئيس بتاع الدولة ما ممكن تقول لهم أنتوا بعد كده لو شاكلتوا أنا تاني ما برسل لكم ولا شنو ولا عسكري وباقي جيش القاعدين قال أنا بقردن بيه نفسي أنا هقردن بيه شنو؟
نفسي
يعني هيحيط نفسه بباقي الجيش. قال وانتوا تقتلوا بعضكم لحد زول الجيرة بعدين يجيني هنا ده بعد كده شنو انا بجي بدافع عنه عشان تاني ما بزول شنو عشان تاني ما بزول يتكلم وعشان تاني شنو انت تبقى راجل. الكلام اللي احنا بنقوله هنا يا سانتينو ماجور بنقوله بمنطق وبموضوعية وبالتحليل انه الخطاب زي ده ما خطاب بتاع زول رئيس دولة. رئيس دولة ما ممكن يحرض المواطنين بتاعه انه يقتلوا انفسهم لحد ما شنو يعني لحد ما يكملوا انفسهم لانه هو قال شنو هو قال انتوا تشاكلوا لحد زول التردد ده يجيني هنا بعد كده انا بيجي بدافع عنه. معناه الناس دي اللي هيشاكلوا كده لو في زول واحد نفد جرى جوبا لانه جوبا ده يبقوا خلاص ده المحل هيقردلوا بالجيش ما راح يكون فيه امان وسلام وباقي الناس دي خلوهم يقتلوا بعضهم. الكلام ده الزول لو في زول هينفد هيكون زول واحد والرئيس بيكون خسر شعبه الرئيس قاعد يقول للشعب بالحرف الواضح انه ده كويس، امشوا قدام، اقتلوا بعضكم، انا ما فاضي لكم، ما داير ندافع عنكم. في الدستور بتاع الدوله، انت لو قريت دستور الدوله، الرئيس بتاع الدوله ما ممكن يحرض العنف او يحرض المواطنين بتاعته ضد بعضهم البعض. المعنى بتاع الكلام ده سياسيا انه الرئيس ده زول بتاع فتنه، انه الرئيس ده زول ما بيهتم بالامن، بتحقيق الامن والسلام للشعب والاستقرار لشعبه. كويس؟ انما ده زول بيشوف نار مولع وبيجيب زيت بكبه جوا عشان يولع اكثر. ده المعنى بتاع الكلام ده. والرئيس دوله ما ممكن شنو يعمل حاجه زي ده. عشان كده نحن بندين التصريح بتاع الرئيس وبنقول انه ده كلام ما مسؤول، وده كلام لا يمكن ان يقوله رئيس الدوله، لانه رئيس الدوله مسؤول عن حمايه بتاع حدود بتاع سياده الدوله والامن بتاع المواطنين. والامن بتاع المواطنين ده من اول شنو؟ من اول وظائف وخصائص بتاع الرئيس. كويس؟ عشان كده الرئيس الفقير يعني ادان نفسه قدام شعب وقدام العالم، واثبت للناس انه هو زول ما قائد، وبالتالي لا يصلح ان يكون رئيسا. ده الرد ان احنا نقدر نقدمه لك، بنقدمه لك بكل محبه وبالمنطق وبالموضوعيه. الفقير كزول خلقه الله، ان احنا ما عندنا معه مشكله، يعني كشخص ان احنا ما عندنا معه مشكله، لكن كرئيس وكقائد نحن عندنا فيه راي. على ضوء كلامه ده هو زول ما مسؤول، ده ما رئيس دوله. كويس؟ ده الكلام اللي احنا بنقوله. وبالتالي انت كزول متعاطف مع الحكومه وكواحد من انصار بتاعت الحكومه، عليك انك تفكر تفكير كويس. انت بتأيد الحكومه ليه؟ والحكومه وصلت للدرجه انه بيقول للشعب اقتلوا بعضكم، وانا ما هرسل لكم جيش عشان اعمل لكم حمايه. وين هو الدوله هنا ده؟ وين هو الاهتمام بحياه المواطن هنا ده؟ وين هو تحقيق السلام؟ السلام المزعوم. والرئيس بيقول كلام ده في مؤتمر عاملينه للسلام بين المواطنين. يبقى ده سلام؟ ده السلام بتاع الحكومه اللي انتوا قاعدين تأيدوه. ده يا شنو؟ كلمات بتاع الرئيس اللي انتوا قاعدين تأيدوه. عشان كده لما نجي المنبر ده يا سانتينو مجر ونقول انه كير ماسكو، ده ما كلام بتاع الجوطه، وده ما كلام بتاع الازعاج. ده كلام مبني على حقائق وموطيات بتاع الواقع السياسي الراهن في البلاد. ارجوك اسمعني بس.
اسمع بس.
اسمعني، انا هديك فرصه تتكلم. معناها نحترم بعضنا في الكلام. انت قبل تكلمت واستمعت لك، استمع لي لحد ما انا اكمل. ده ما الدوله ان احنا هلمنا به. الرئيس كير كده بيثبت للناس انه ما في حكومه في البلد. انت هسه جاي تقول لنا انه في حكومه، لكن الرئيس بكلامه ده قاعد يقول لنا انه هو ما حكومه، ما مسؤول عن الناس. يبقى هو قاعد في الجيوان لشنو؟ بيستخدم جيش بتاع الدوله عشان يحوش به نفسه حسب كلامه، ويبقى جوبا ده بس ده يا ساوث السودان حقه. والناس اللي قاعدين في اطراف بتاعت ساوث السودان يقتلوا بعضهم وهم فاضي. يبقى ما في الدوله هنا. يعني ده دوله بتاعت فوضى. ده اسمه شنو؟ اسمه anarchy. The president was telling the citizen that you go on with anarchy, kill yourself, and I don't care. I don't give you a damn. ده الرئيس انت تدعمه؟ الاسئله اللي انا طرحته ده فكر فيه، وانا هجيب فيه ونسمع اخر كلامك.
كان اوكي. المشكله ان انا ما نقولش هنا استاذ دنجي، شكرا لك. اننا شعب اننا ما بنعرف الزول الكويس الا لو مات او فات. اذا مشينا في ليبيا زمن بتاع القذافي، كان رئيس 100%. وشعب تضمن ضده حتى ما مشي بقى بيقول ده صدام كويس. ليبيا وين هسه لسه بشكل ليه هسه؟ يمسك العراق صدام حسين كان ماسك العراق تمام. الناس ما في صدام حسين قال تم سنة عاش في سنة طويل في الحكم أنا نشيله برا شال برا. العراق هسه بقى كويس؟ ما كويس. إذا جينا للكلام أنت بتقول قال كير ما رئيس، كير هو الرئيس. الناس قاعدين بوراهم يا السبب. كير عنده وطنية، كير عنده حنانية، ما بقدر بيقتل الزول ساكت. ونحن شايفين الرياق كان ما بيقول مع رياق تاني في المكتب ده أو في السلطة ده. إذا كان كير كاب كان ما بقول. يجوا جزء من الناس وهذا بالمرض وبيجي بيقول معه بيعطيه الرئيس ده فيه ما فيش. سكن الكلام الكير وقاله طبعا هو ما بيعرف شكله. إذا لاسته السنين الشهور الفاتت رسل هنا جيم زواني يقع للبور مشى كان مع الناس كان نائب الرئيس كان نائب الثانية مشى قاعد ما ببور وبور وعزم القضية والقضية تاني قام. ما رأيك إذا كانت بترسل الحكومة بيرسل ويقول الناس يا شعب ما تشاكل بعضكم، يا شعب ما تشاكل بعضكم، ما هي وسيلة أبدا. أنا بشوف ما في حاجة فوقه، ما في خلق فوقه. إذا نحن دايرين نشيل إننا نغير حكومة في جنوب السودان مو عشان نعمل تذمر له. نحن متثقفين نشجع السلام ونقول الناس البرة يجوا جوا ونشوف موضوع بتاع الانتخابات هو الخيار الوحيد اللي بقدر بيعمل changing بدون genocide بدون somebody else to die. نحن واعيين ليه جينا في دول البرة عشان نعرف الكاب سيب الكير اللي بيعملوا لكن نعمل علينا نحن عشان إن السلام تجي في الدولة والناس تمشي ونبدأ البنود اللي بيقدر الناس يكون في انتخابات ونشوف من البلد الثاني الكويس بيقدر بيجي بيقول عارفين في بيشولة وبيشولة ما كير براهم على الناس اللي وراهم هم فشل الكير لكن كير هو زول كويس. لازم 2013 لازم الحرب حتى يوم الليلة السلام هو الخيار الحقيقة عشان إنه ننقذ البلدنا نشجع السلام هو الخيار اللي بيقدر بيكون الناس للأمام. ما طريقة إنه الزول ده كعب فشل أي زول ما في زول ما بفشل وما في زول ما بيطلع إلا ابن رب العالمين. الزول ما بيطلع ما في.
Okay. Majur, Governor Madam, okay. My brother, let me say the last word and then we'll let you go.
I will have a comment, Bardo.
Yes, no problem. You made a contrast. Inta amalta contrast. Inta قلت يا شوف ليبيا. صدام أنا إذا غزافي كان رئيس كويس وليبيا في النهاية جا حصل فيه تدخل وبقى خربانة. انت عملت كونتراست كمان اوجه المقارنه بين صدام حسين انه كان كويس وفي النهايه شنو طردوه بلد طلع كعب بلد ما كويس. Let me tell you this, my brother. You are in Australia. I suspected maybe you are in Sydney or Adelaide or Canberra, whatever, you know, or Melbourne, right?
I'm in Melbourne.
You're in Melbourne. Okay. Let me tell you this, my brother. Libya, Gaddafi ما كان عنده مشكلة مع الشعب المسكين المغلوب على أهله، ما كان هنا على حاله، ما كان عنده مشكلة مع الشعب. كان في شارع، كان في مدرسة، كان في هوسبيتال، كان في أمن للمواطن العادي في البلد. مش only that، أي مواطن ليبي زول ليبي مولود في ليبيا قروش بتاعت اويل، لأن ليبيا طبعا أكثر منطقة بتنتج نفط في شمال أفريقيا. اويل لما يبيعوا طبعا اراضي بتم صحراء بيجيبوا اكل من برا، بيجيب حاجات من برا للمواطن. وما بس الكلام ده، كل مواطن ليبي عنده $700 بيكون في البنك بتاعه شهريا. $700 امريكي بيكون في البنك بتاعه شهريا. وقال لهم شنو؟ انا ما دايركم تتكلم في السياسه، لكن الخدمات متاحه في مدرسه، في مستشفى، في الشارع، في اي حاجه في البلد شغل فيه. اوكي، ده كان من ناحيته. ده اوريك، لان انت قارنت بين ليبيا. اوكي، حتى على درجه انه رئيس الليبي كان عنده مثل كده، قال انتوا قال شوف شعب سوداني، قالوا بياكل قراب بتاع الغنم وبيرقصوا مع رئيس. يعني قال شوف شعب سوداني بياكل غنم، قراب بتاع غنم وبيرقص مع رئيس، وانتوا هنا انا مريحكم في كل حاجه. شايف؟ لا داير يقول يعني احنا بناكل كوارع في السودان وبعد ده كله بيرقص فول وشنو بيرقصوا مع رئيس وما عاملين اي كلام. لكن ليبيا في كل حاجه. ليبيا كانوا مرتاحين، ما كان في اي مشكله. لكن المشكله بتاع قذافي يا ماي براذر، عشان تفهموا الليله ده، هو كان بقى يتكبر على اخرين. انت do you remember حادثه بتاع الطائره المنكوبه في اجواء لوكربي في اسكتلند في 1989؟ اوكي خلاص داير اوريك جاب مشكله لرئيس قذافي. هو بقى يتبنى الارهاب الدولي، مشى ضرب طياره ركاب فيها 200 تقريبا اولموست 300 نفر، ناس ماتوا. وبعد ده كله الزول اللي هو كان رسله ومشي ضرب الطياره وعمل قنبله، قبضوه وكتب في السجن. الخواجات فكوه في 2003 و2004 ما اعرف، وقد فكوه جاء ماشي ليبيا. هو استقبلوا استقبال حافل، قال ده بطل وده زول قتل ارواح. اوكي، مساله بتاع قذافي مساله طويله جدا جدا. لكن انت ما تقارن قذافي بالرئيس الفكير، لان كير مسك من 2005 القروش الجانا جنوب السودان، بيبني البلد وبيعمل فري واي اكروس افريكا كله. هسه الليل ده انا بتكلم معك، انا ما اعرف كلمني
شو 2005
دقيقه خليني اكمل كلامي. بعد ما دكتور جون مات كير مسك
الاتفاقيه 2005 وتم على 2006.
ما خلاص داير اوريك بعد ما دكتور جون مات هو جاء مسك. اوكي، هو جاء مسك طوالي في الزمن ذاك. لو مشيت جنوب السودان انت قارنته قبل بليبيا، ما في امن لمواطن. مواطنين بيموتوا، ناس بيموتوا. انا ما اعرف من وين انت، كان من وراء ولا من اويل ولا من وين، اي دونت نو، ولا كان من رومبيك، انا ما بيعرف. لكن انت لو مشيت تلقى ابوك واقواك بيقتلوا انفسهم، تلقى ناس وانجان بيشاكلوا، تلقى ناس اقار بيشاكلوا، وفي رئيس وفي دوله وفي بوليس وفي جيش. ما في امن في البلد. لكن ليبيا كان فيه امن، كان في امن في البلد. في مستشفيات في ليبيا، ما عندنا مستشفيات ما عشان ما عندنا قروش، لكن عشان الرئيس he did allow corruption عشان يحصل، ويشيل عيالهم برا يمشي يتعلم في اوغندا في كينيا وين في المناطق دي كلها. لكن في ليبيا الرئيس عياله موجود في البلد بيتعلم في البلد. انت شايف الفرق كيف؟ فما في اوجه المشابهه بين ليبيا وجنوب السودان. الليبي الرئيس الليبي كان بيعمل تارجت بدل السياسيين، لكن في جنوب السودان ناس زي ابرام، ناس سامويل دون، الناس الكتبه، الصحفيين، ناس مساكين. كده شوف كم ناس ماتوا، حتى وكدناي بول مالونج اتمرن، شوف كم ناس اكل كور بس بيضبحهم. كان بيعمل شنو؟ استهداف لمواطن. المواطن يعني مما الرئيس كير مسك ده، ما بنشوف سياسيين بيموتوا ولا عندهم اي مشكله. المواطن العادي ده الفرق بين ليبيا وجنوب السودان. نفس الحكايه في العراق. العراق كان احسن بلد تعليما في الدول العربيه، ده ما دلو 2 3. اوكي، ما دلو تعليم. حتى كان في مثل بيقول شنو؟ قال العراق، قال بيروت يطبع وعراق يقرا ومصر شنو؟ في حاجه، في مثل زي ده. بلد كويس، لكن هو كبرياءه لاخرين للدول الكبرى وكده، ده دخلوا في المشاكل. من ناحيه
المثل بيقول انه القاهره تكتب وبيروت تقرا، وبيروت تطبع، والخرطوم تقرا.
والخرطوم وعراق تقرا ايضا. شفتها؟ ده بوريك علينا الناس اللي كانوا مهتمين. لكن هل في بلدنا في 16 سنه ده يا مجنون؟ بس let's speak from the heart. هل في مدارس اتبنى؟ ده عشان ما عندنا قروش. عندنا قروش كثيره جدا يا اخوي، قروش كثيره جدا جدا. لكن هم فاضيين لا ينوموا في هوتيلات ويزوج 3 ويجيب شنو، ودوا عيالهم جنوب افريقيا ويودوهم بريطانيا ويودوهم انديا، ويا المهاربين القدامى اللي كان بيهاربوا معاهم their colleagues اللي ماتوا في ميادين القتال يالهم بيشهدوا في جوبا ويدو. اوكي دي هاركو في هرب تعبانين بيشهدوا. هل ده احنا هربنا من اجل شنو؟ انه يكون في justice liberty prosperity. you know this. so انا حبيت انه بس نوريك البسيط، لكن في حاجات كثيره جدا جدا we can talk forever. خلي دنجل يرد لك بعد كده.
اوكي تعليق في نقطتين ذكرهم سانتينو مجور. نقطة رقم 1 بيقول انه تغيير الحكومة بالانتخابات. يا سانتينو مجور انتوا كجفرمنت سبورترز، انا ما بعرف انتوا قاعدين تقروا. انت قريت التقرير الاخير بتاع لجنة الحوار الوطني؟ انت قريته؟ لقيته؟
انا لقيته.
الكلام اللي قالوه عن الانتخابات انت قريته؟
انا لقيته.
الحوار الوطني بيقول انه النفرين اللي قاعدين بحكموا هسه الرئيس الفقير والنائب الاول رياض بشار، قال اي انتخابات فوق نفرين ده نهايته موت وحرب. اي انتخابات فوق نفرين ده ما بينجح، هيكون زي انتخابات بتاع موسيفني. فبالتالي حديثك عن تغيير الحكومة بالانتخابات ده حديث ممكن يكون مقبول في دولة فيه احترام بتاع المؤسسات، وفي دولة فيه حكم، فيه سيادة حكم القانون. دولة يعني لو هزم زول في انتخابات يعترف انه هزموه ويمشي يقعد في بيته. فكلامك ده كلام ما موضوعي. الناس اللي قاعدين في جوبا ديل لو نظموا انتخابات بينتهي بعنف، ولو ما انتهى بعنف هتكون النتيجة مزورة. يبقى مسألة بتاع تغيير الحكومة بالانتخابات اللي انت قاعد تقوله ده مجرد حجة غير عملية، ما بينجح في ساوث السودان. ده النقطة رقم 1. النقطة رقم 2 انت قاعد تقول السلام هو الطريق إلى الأمام. السلام، الكلام عن السلام ده كلام كويس، لكن هل الحكومة اللي عندنا في جوبا ده حكومة بتاعت سلام؟ أسأل نفسك سؤال. قبل شوية ناقشنا ستيتمنت بتاع الرئيس، الستيتمنت اللي عمله الرئيس لقيناه ده ما ستيتمنت فوق السلام، وانت جاي هسه تدينا محاضرة عن السلام. السلام ده شيء كويس، لكن الحكومة اللي في جوبا ده ما حكومة حريصة على تحقيق السلام والاستقرار في البلاد. كده بس انت عاين في البلد ده جايب كيف؟
اوكي
جنبلين الناس قاعدين بيقتلوا انفسهم. مجتمع بتاع بور ومرلت ولو نوير قاعدين بيشاكلوا.
نديك فرصة.
قبل شوية قال لك ابوك وابوك عندهم حكاية قديمة، وناس بتاع الوانجان في توني، ناس بتاع دقار في رومبيك، كويس؟ وحتى الان انت عارف حوالين جوبا في صراعات ماشي في الايام المشى ده بين المجتمعات المحليه بتاعت جوبا والمجتمعات الرعويه الجايين بالافكار حقهم. والحكومه قاعده في جوبا والناس بتشاكل حول جوبا، والحكومه ما داير يوقف الحرب. يبقى السلام اللي انت قاعد تقوله ده ما فيش، والحكومه اللي موجوده في جوبا دي ما حكومه يمكن تجيب السلام. السلام اللي احنا بنقوله يا سانتينو مجر ما سلام اللي بوقعوه في ورقه بين السياسيين، ما سلام بتاع تقسيم المناصب، ما سلام بتاع توزيع الحقائب الدستوريه بين المعارضين والحكام. ده السلام بتاع انه السلام اللي غنى به جون كدوسه. انت سميت اغنيه بتاعت سلام زمان؟ دارين شاذي اللونم دارين نيني اللونم كدارين فايت كلوي كدولوي لاونم ده السلام اللي احنا دايرينه. يعني زول ينوم ويقوم ويلف في غابة في أي مكان بدون خوف. ما سلام بين المعارضين وناس في حكومة اللي ممكن يجي يشرطوا وسلاح تاني شنو؟ سلاح تاني يكورك. فده لو ده سلام تقاعد تقوله ده ما سلام حقيقي. نحن دايرين سلام شامل في البلاد. سلام ما في زول يجيني في بيتي يضربني عشان داير مني قروش. سلام ما في ناس يقوم ويمشي يشيلوا أبقار بتاع الناس ويقتلوا ناس، يقتلوا نسوان وأطفال صغار. الحكومة الموجودة في جوبا ما حكومة بتاعت سلام، بالدليل إنه الستيتمنت حق الرئيس اللي اتكلمنا فيه قبل ده ما ستيتمنت بتاعت زول ممكن يجيب سلام للبلد. ده كلام ده حقائق نحن بنقوله. بعد كده لو انتوا كانصار الحكومه لو دايرين تعملوا نظام بتاع ركوب راس، لو دايرين تكونوا عنيدين ما عايزين تقبلوا حقائق، فبعد كده بنسكت. لكن نحن عارفين انه نحن عندنا حقائق، والحقيقه بينتصر في النهايه. والناس اللي بيشاهدونا، الناس اللي بيشاهدوا النقاش ده بيحكموا. شكرا.
شكرا استاذ دنجد. مجرى ديك عشان تمشي بعدين تمشي لنوم ولا تمشي شغل.
الزمن ده ماشي. عشان بقول لك استاذ جونكور بس انا ما بتكلم الموضوع بتاع ليبيا، انا ما بتكلم بالنادي عن الدوله الليبيه. اذا مشينا للدوله الليبيه في فرق بين السودان والدوله 300 years ago. Southern Sudan independent 2006. Okay. وبرغم دي ما قسم املاك مع السودان، بدأ من الصفر. ونحن عارفين الكلام ده كويس كلنا. Southern السودان بدأ من درجة صفر، ما عنده مرتبات، ما عنده شركات، ما عنده أي حاجة. أوكي، المفروض كنا نمسك أولا. الكير مشى بالسلطة 2011 3 years حرب قام 2013 200 انت التنمية يمشي والحرب شغال. هل انت تكيل اذا كان انتم رؤساء الدولة، هل انت تمشي في الحرب بجاي والتنمية يمشي بجاي وانت في درجة صفر؟ هل انت بتقدر تعمله؟ لا، انت ما بتقدر تعمله. until سلام تكون قاعد سلام الأمان المواطن بيقدر يبنتي بلقى لأن الحكومة أخلاق المواطن ولا الحكومة شنو؟ ما هو ضريبة، بلقى ضريبة من المواطن. بجيب الشركات الأجنبية عشان الناس جوا العمل يكون كثير.
سانتينو أنت من وين في الجنوب؟
أوكي، لكن في الجنوب بدأ من درجة صفر. أوكي، دينجي أولا نحن بنتكلم، أنا بتكلم معكم دائما بواجه يزول. أنا بواجه يزول. دقيقة أسمعني أولا. إذا كان أنت بتقول دقيقة. ما دقيقة جوكر، أنت بتقول كلامك أنا ما ماشي أي مال.
أنا سألتك بس وين جنوب السودان؟
جنوب السودان بدأ درجة صفر وأنت علمان بالكلام ده. ما عنده مرتبات، ما عنده شركات، ما حاسس زي حاجة، ما عنده قروش، بدأ من درجة صفر. وفي الدين كله قام حارب في ظروف السيئة ده. هل أنت بتقدر كرئيس الجمهورية أنت بتقدر تعمل شنو؟ بسبب أنت جونكور. الليلة أنت رئيس الجمهورية أنت بعد من الصفر، ما عندك مرتبات، ما عندك شركات، ما عندك أي أملاك. غير المزارعين اللي بيجيب الأبقار، هل تقدر تعمل أي حاجة؟
شكرا اديك اجابه يا انا داير نمشي لان انا قعدت زمن طويل. قبل ما نجاوب على السؤال بتاعي ده انا سالتك، انا قلت لك يا مجرى من وين في جنوب السودان؟ بس ده سؤال عفوي كاخوان انت من وين في منطقه في جنوب السودان؟
انا بيرول.
اوكي اهلا وسهلا. بحالنا يرول طيبين. يا مجر، بعد اتفاقيه السلام 2005 انت ملم بتقسيم الثروه بين الحركه الشعبيه والمؤتمر الوطني؟ انت كنت ملم؟
ما أسر.
اوكي انت ما ملم. يا ذاتس واي.
ما أسر.
اوكي
ما كده بقى ملاك.
خلاص ذاتس واي انت سالتني السؤال اللي انت قلت لي يا اخي انت بعد من صفر.
انا
ما
listen انا بقول لك الفتره ده انا كنت عارف الجامعه. ما عارف الكلام ده كويس.
ما قال انت قلت لي هذا ما ملم، لكن انا داير اوريك انه كان في اتفاقيه تقسيم الثروه. انا متابع من يوم الاول باي ذا واي. اوكي تقسيم الثروه كان بدي الحركه الشعبيه كم 28% من عائدات البترول. عندنا قروش يعني جنوب السودان لو كنت تعمل كده نظيف، ما عندها ولا دين خارجي، يعني زي دوله كده كامل الدسم، زي اللبن كده كامل الدسم. اوكي وي دو هاف ماني. يعني the notion ده انت قلت يا اخي احنا بدينا من صفر، ما بدينا من صفر. عندنا قروش ترانزيشن من 2005 لحد 2011 عندنا قروش. عندنا كان قروش لما قال make the unity attractive. كان عندنا قروش بيمشي للحركه الشعبيه. كيريا كان مسؤول. قروش يمكن كان يعمل بتنميه، يمكن كان يعمل ريفاينري، يمكن كان يعمل بالشارع، يعمل مدارس، يعمل الحاجات دي كلها تتعمل. في دونس قروش جابه يعني بيقول على شنو؟ there was donation من امريكا الاتحاد الاوروبي في قروش كثيره جدا جدا flooded to South السودان. بيقول القروش اللي جاء في جنوب السودان كده الميزانيه بتاعت اريتريا ويوغندا اكثر من ميزانيه دولتين ديل. قروش اللي جاء في جنوب السودان من 2005 ل 2011. ده تقول لنا احنا كنا مفلسين؟ لا احنا ما مفلسين، عندنا قروش كثيره جدا جدا جدا، لكن there was no political will. عشان كده قاعدين نتكلم لما تكون ليدر انت بتعمل بايورتايز. حتى مهل بتقعد فيه ذات تعمله بايور، تفكر في قدام. هل هذا السودان ده احنا طالعين منه؟ طيب لو بعدين لو قفل البترول نحن هنعمل شنو؟ انا احسن نعمل زراعه، نركز عشان نقدر ناكل من الجوا. لكن اذا تقفل نفسك برا تقول يا اخي انا ما فاهم النظام بتاع ريق ذاك. قال لما الوطن يبقى بالليل يكون بردان يقول يا اخي انا لو قمت الصباح انبلا كوين تيم ناجاكل نيرويل خلاص تقول ايه خلاص it's okay don't worry about it. That's how they have been leading the people in the country. So my brother, I know I'm not going to convince you. انا ما بقدر بقنع لانه خلاص you lock in خلاص. you know you lock yourself in, but it's not good to lock yourself in. Give yourself space. And sometimes give yourself space. Question what you believe.
جون كور، أنا عايز نقول للأخ واللي هو عمنا أخونا وعمنا مجر إنه يعني السؤال اللي هو بيطرحه إنه لو أنت يعني تقول للمواطنين أقيفوا من الحرب وهم ما بيسمعوك وكل مرة بيمشي بيتشاكل، أنت تعمل شنو؟ السؤال ده بيكشف إنه أنت يعني أنت شاعر بعجز، أنت عاجز. وبالتالي خطاب بتاع الرئيس دقيقة بس خلينا ألخص بس. بالتالي خطاب بتاع الرئيس ده خطاب يعني أطلق فيه العنان للمواطنين يقتلوا بعضهم، أطلق يدين المواطنين إنهم يتكاتلوا ويقتلوا أنفسهم، لأنه هو بقى ضعيف وهو بقى عاجز. هو يعمل شنو؟ لو هو ضعيف وعاجز ده يمشي ويخلي زول تاني عنده قدرة يجي يدير الدولة ده. ده الرد لسؤالك انت قاعد تقول انه كان انت قاعد تقول للناس اقيفوا، انت تعمل شنو؟ ده بيان انه هو ضعيف يمشي ويخلي زول تاني جدير بإدارة يجي يدير البلد، يفرض قانون ويكون في الضبط والأمن في البلد. شكرا.
كلامك صح، لكن انا بقول انا كده اسالك سؤال.
تفضل.
ما من زول اللي بيقول امشي شكله وزول اللي بيقول المواطن المسكين امشي قال امشي المظاهرات عشان يمشي يموتوا.
يا مجر الحكايه ما لي بالحكايه. الدوله فيها اجهزه، في حاجه بيسموه وكالات انفاذ القانون، law enforcement agencies. قاعدين ولا ما قاعدين؟ جونكور ما قال لك بلد فيه جيش، بلد فيه شرطه. ديل شغلهم شنو؟ law enforcement agencies, their role is to enforce the law, the rule of law in the country. بلدنا ده بلد ما بيفرضوا فوقه حكم سيادة القانون، عشان كده الفوضى بيتمادى، الفوضى بينتشر، واخر حاجه الرئيس استسلم للفوضى، قال ما اقتلوا بعضكم، انا تاني ما برسل لكم ايزون.
اوكي
يعني زي مرة عنده عيال في بيت، وعيال كل يوم بيعملوا جوطه وكلم معاهم وعمل لهم شنو، في النهايه فترت، يعني بقت فترانه، قال لهم يا اخي والله في 60 غوروا في 60 داهيه، تقتلوا بعضكم تعملوا شنو، انا ما فاضي لكم. عشان كده نحن بنقول شنو؟ يعني سلم المواطنين للانتحار، وده ضعف وده عجز، هو يمشي.
اوكي شكرا استاذ دينجي، انا شلت زمن كثير معكم وانا بكون معكم الزمن الجاي، لكن كلام الواحد اللي بقول لكم واحد، انا بشوف اي فيديو والناس زي جزاتهم، اذا في ناس ثاني بيقول قال ندنا البشير اللي بيقول في امريكا ده قال امشي قال يا ايكواتوريا امشي في غابه اقتل الدينكا، حتى انت ذاته ما بقتله انت. اوكي ما فرق شنو؟ الفرق شنو؟ ما انت دينكاوي لو لقوا في غابه بتاع ايكواتوريا ما يقتلوه زي كيف لو كان لقوا في غابه بتاع
دقيقه اسمعني بس،
الكلام اللي بقول لك ما بيشجع الفوضى. دقيقه
مجور،
ما في زول بيشجع الفوضى، نحن نقول للرئيس
بس كلمه،
الكلام ده
كلمه يا مجور
كله الشعب بتاعك. اوكي نحن بنقول له يا سيد الرئيس الكلام ده ما حقيقه، بعد ما نشوفه هل سيئ الكلام ده يعمله ولا لا نتابعه. عشان انت بتقول حاجه بندت مش اولا نحن نشيله فوق وننقده فوق، نو كنت في النوت كنت اديه لفتره طويله، اديه مولا عشان انت تتابعه هل الكلام ده سيئ. الرئيس كان قالوا جد ام لا؟ هل اذا كان قالوا عشان ينقذ الناس تابعوه، لكن اذا كان نحن بنشوف بسيطه ونكون في النهايه انوار البارد نتكلم به وده ما حقيقه، ممكن هي ما يحصل الكلام بتاعنا يكون شنو؟ نحن كتبنا نفوذنا في وجه الكبار.
يا مجور اسمع الكلام اللي عايز اقوله، كلمه واحده بس.
تفضل استاذ دينجي.
اتكلم
اللي عايز نقوله ان هنا خطابنا هنا ده ما خطاب بتاع كراهيه، احنا ما بنتكلم عن دينكا ولا نوير ولا باري ولا فجلو ولا كوكو ولا زاندي ولا مادي، ده لاهلنا. الخطاب اللي بنقدمه هنا ما خطاب ضد اي مجتمع، ده خطاب بنناقش فوقه قضايا بتاع البلد ونطرح فيه افكار، بنطرح فوقه موقفنا تجاه الحاجات الحاصل في الوضع السياسي الراهن في البلد. فما تقارن خطابنا بخطاب تاني ماشي في السوشيال ميديا، لازم تفرق بين خطاب هادف واي خطاب تاني. شكرا
مجور.
انا بقول لك الفاصله الجايه ايام الجايه خلينا نشوف واحد من ايكواتوريا جاي في السوشيال ميديا بتاعك في المكتب بتاعك عشان انا ناقش معه.
لا زي ما استاذ دينجي قال لك النقاش بتاعنا حوار هادف، نحن بنتكلم عن التغيير البوزيتيف في البلد البدي ايكوال لكل زول، مره ما يمشي يشهد، مره ما يموت عشان كلام نقص في الدم، كلام سوء تغذيه ويال ما يموت. نحن دايرين يكون في عداله، ما بزول يعتدي عليك عشان انت من يورل، ولا ما بزول يمشي يسرق بقر بتاعك. This is what we are talking about يا مجور. You know we have to come to our senses. You know
ربنا بيجيب سلام وبيجيب تغيير.
يا جونكور سانتينو مجور مرق من الموضوع. ودخلنا انت هتلوك وكده وهرب من الموضوع.
Anyway, thank you مجور. It was good, you know, having you. ما في أي مشكلة.
شكرا لك.
We try our best. لأنه of course, you know, نحن دايرين ناس يقدر يفهموا القضية شنو، وده مهم. أستاذ دينجي أنا بخليك تواصل. Sometimes we give a chance يا جماعة. احنا ما مستخفين باي زول مهما كان مستوى الفهم، بندي زول المجال عشان هو يتكلم. But we hope always, Hakuma يجيب ناس كمان people who really have substance, to discuss, with us. That make a lot of difference. So أستاذ دنجيت نحن كنا وقفنا في الحوار. أنا دايرك تواصل. خلينا نجيب مويه. Go ahead. تفضل.
All right, we were talking about the statement issued by the Jiang Council of Elders, and the statement is called Breaking the Silence. In my opinion, the Jiang Council of Elders, as they said that they were breaking silence, that they have been so silent for a very long time, and finally they issued this statement. I think we have to discuss the background of Jiang Council of Elders. And we have to ask some objective questions that will guide our discussions. Question number one, we are asking, who are the Jiang Council of Elders? And what are actually their objectives? I think this question has been answered since the beginning of the show. And I think I'm going to add my perspective on the same questions. When we say who are the Jiang Council of Elders, this question can be answered in two ways. When we say who are the Jiang Council of Elders, we mean who are they as individuals. And we also mean who are they politically, who are they?
Yes.
As individual, we know them. As individual, they are Ambrose Rinthik. Ambrose Rinthik was the former Chief Justice